so when you run with a bit, it's not mean, but when
No.
me and Bridget do it, it's mean, huh?
Well, see, the
Come
difference
on.
is my bit was just trying to get someone to do the Candace thing, so I could hit them with the Candace dick fit in your mouth thing. When you guys are doing a bit, it's mostly just actively hitting me with sticks. So
I'm sorry. A picture of a Digimon without its power on. Oh man, what an awful thing to do to someone. I'm so sorry. Fucking come on.
I mean, I'm sitting here like, hey guys, this image, I really don't like it. It makes me feel like uncomfortable and unsafe. And then you just keep posting it at me like it's a joke to you.
Why?
Unsafe?
Why does Snake and Gabumon make you feel unsafe?
Like
Is there
uncomfortable, I
something wrong
guess,
with
but
you?
unsafe. What? Do you think he's gonna like become real and start beating the shit out of you or something? Like,
I think Lot thinks that Naked Gabumon's gonna beat them with sticks.
that's my job.
That's our job. Come on.
Yeah. What?
Yeah, what's sorry. I was trying so hard to like not fucking bust out laughing.
Unsafe. Jesus Christ.
It took everything I had to get through that sentence, let me tell you.
What did y'all
Okay.
do this week? Or these past 2 weeks, rather?
Well, we haven't started the episode yet. This has still been pre-banter.
Oh, has it? I thought you were
Yeah.
recording. What the
No,
fuck?
I am.
We gotta record the pre-banter so that we have a little like a cold,
Yeah, the cold
open
open.
bit thing.
Yeah. And I'll be editing this entire I'll be editing this entire Thank you, Momo. I'll be editing this entire conversation down to make it look like I'm the victim here, so don't worry about that.
You're such a fucking
You
bitch.
guys are gonna edit this to make it sound like I think cool.
I think cool still sucks.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the DigiVerse DiveCast, the only Digimon podcast where I guess one host is just lesser than the others and is made fun of constantly through no fault of their own.
Tis the burden you bear, and you must bear.
I thought you were talking about how we just keep making fun of Angel for being either late or absent on these recordings.
No, it was talking about me because so like just like everyone else, Devin, real quick. I need to talk to the audience exclusively. Okay, so like obviously you guys know that like I'm very jovial on the podcast and everything, but like off camera, they're all very mean to me.
Shut the fuck up!
What the fuck is wrong with you? You're not even good at propaganda.
What are you talking about?
Bad at it.
What are you fucking talking about? Do you not hear the
you're
sincerity?
No!
There ain't a single shred of sincerity in that entire speech you just gave the audience.
Not a fucking lack of sincerity in your voice during that at all.
I was being very, very. See, this is what I'm talking about. They do this shit to me all the time. Like they're gaslighting me now. They're actively gaslighting me.
Why do you keep talking like we're not here? We're literally right here.
Gaslighting them.
No, I'm I'm not gaslighting them. I'm lying to them. There's a difference. Anyway, Angel's not here because he got pulled away to do something. He might show up later. Who fucking knows?
We have no idea.
We need to kill this guy.
With hammers.
With hammers. Perhaps
Let's
even
kill him.
the sledgehammer variety.
So I guess everyone can talk about their weeks. I know I had something to talk about and have completely forgotten what it was.
Did you shit with your car or something? Or?
Oh, I mean, yeah, that was miserable. My brakes failed, so I had to get a bunch of shit in my car replaced. That
I would have
costed
just driven it anyways.
a bunch of money. Yeah, sure, I'm gonna do that. Just kill myself and someone else. So yeah, that was expensive, which I didn't have the money for, so it went on a credit card. Yeah. And then also there was this weird leak and like the back seat of my car was completely soaked through. So I had to get that fixed as well. I mean, I didn't get it fixed. I just kind of did it myself, but it's been a rough one. Not having a great time, but
I'm sorry, gamer.
Whatever. This is shit I have to deal with. I've got a bunch of interviews, or I had a bunch of interviews for second jobs, so I can actually afford to pay for things again, which is, nice. Hopefully any of them go through.
Hopefully.
Yep. Other than that,
Oh.
it's been fairly uneventful. I played a shitload of Ys. Oh my god, I'm going through like the entirety of the Ys games. I did like 1, 2, Kefin, uh, Oath,
The fish
Arc,
time.
and I'm most of the way through Origin as well. Cool games. 2 is bad and 5 is boring.
But other than that, you're having fun, right?
Yeah, no, other than that, Oath and Felghana is like a fucking immaculate video game. That thing is amazing. And Origin has been pretty good so far. I just don't like Hugo. Anyway, that's all for me. So someone else can go.
Oh, are we going in order, or is it just
Who cares? Just whoever wants to talk.
Final Fantasy VII. That's it. Nothing. That was it. This is the past 2 weeks. I wish I was playing it right now.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Leon?
Oh, it's my. Okay. Well, what did I do this week? I don't honestly. My parents have been in Germany for the past 2.5 weeks, and they're coming home tonight. So I've been home alone and been able to say whatever I want. That will now change, but it's okay.
Full disclosure,
That's all.
when you said I've been home alone and I could say whatever I want, I almost just fucking exactly.
Daring.
Can't say that on the podcast.
I just mean like I can curse a little bit more freely because they're not judging me.
God.
And
You're like 22. They shouldn't be judging you for saying.
they judge me all the time for the shit that I say. No, it's actually very real.
Anyway, Momo.
Anyways,
Let's see here. I played like Sonic Adventure like 3 times. Oh yeah, and I also took Laura on a little journey. I showed them the wonderful classic anime Charger and Ken.
We sure did watch the entirety of that show in 2 sittings.
65 episodes, and if that sounds intimidating to you, they're all like 6 minutes long, and like 2 of those minutes is the opening and ending.
Yep.
okay.
That show is.
I didn't realize that it already happened. I still thought that was like in the plans for
No.
you guys to do that.
No,
We finished.
we did that already.
Yeah.
Jesus
is.
Christ.
You should. I recommend watching this show. It's like kind of incredible and how incompetently made it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like you will just get multiple times where frames are missing, characters are not drawn in properly, people just get their hair stuck in the cells, the plots make no sense.
It's
spectacular.
It really is an experience watching it. Like, I was pretty much laughing my ass off during every single episode for one reason or another. We're gonna move right into episode 11, Blue Thunder Lydramon.
Yippee!
Yay! We got the second armor evo for someone. Yay! So there's a new insert song at the start of this, isn't there? It's like a very jazzy song. It kind of rules.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. So we pretty much just open up on they're all just basically having a strategy meeting to hype themselves up for rescuing Agumon because he's still evil and fucked up. So
He's blue.
yeah. So Yamato orders Tentomon to go get Garurumon as potential backup for later, and he just kind of flies off to do that. And once they all start like talking about how they're actually going to handle fighting Metal Greymon, Daisuke is just like still not 100% sure on the idea of fighting Agumon. And so Takaru is like, okay, like I get it, but also stop being a bitch, get over it. And Daisuke just immediately launches himself at Takaru and they begin fighting.
I've had enough of you, mister.
And as like Hikari and Miyako are going to break up their fight, Taichi's like, no, let them fight. And it was like, what are you fucking talking about? Why? And he's just like, well, me and Yamato here used to be at each other's throats all the time. And now we're the best of friends. So the same thing will happen with those two. Just let them fight each other.
It's like, do we know? If you know, you know.
So yeah, they just kind of let them get it out of their system. And eventually they're in their little fucking train with a sheet on it. as their method of transportation. And eventually they
Yeah.
the D3s can detect Digimentals now, I guess.
They always have, haven't they?
Have they always like detected the
I think
Digimentals?
they-
Yeah,
I
that's how
think
they.
they tracked the.
That's how they found them. Yeah,
Yeah, that's how they tracked like at least like Iori,
and
Miyako's
Miyako's one.
Taku.
Yeah,
Oh, really? Okay, I didn't
Yeah,
realize.
I'm pretty sure.
I must have just totally fucking missed the fact that they were tracking those. But yeah, so
Yes.
they find a signal for another one, and it's got the crest of friendship on it, and it's just in a hole in the ground.
I mean, that's kind of just like Daisuke's in particular are just kind of at places. Like
like at least
Like-
Armadimon and Hawkmon were like, someone put them in a fancy temple.
Yeah.
yeah, like and the Takaru and Hikari ones were also on like a pedestal thing, but like the Crest of Courage one was also just in a fucking cave somewhere. There's not a lot of internal consistency
At least
behind where these things are placed.
At least this one, like, someone like carved the crest into the wall.
Also, it's just really funny that like they find the Crest of Friendship, and Yamato just kind of happen to have already been there.
Yeah. Of course, they're getting the crest for that character. Obviously, the character is going to be there. That's just how it
Yeah,
works.
but it's I know, but it's not like, oh, like they like detected the Crest of Friendship. Like, no, there's all this shit's still going on, and if they're just kind of riding in this train with him, they're like, the Crest of Friendship, neat.
Mm-hmm.
That works out. That just kind of, it's just one of those, like, it's not a complaint, just one of those, like, incredible conveniences to me.
Yeah. So they obviously all, they're just like, Yamato, you go first, try and lift it because it is your crest. Doesn't work. Taichi tries to lift it, doesn't work. And then a part I think is really funny is Taichi's like, Iori, you try it. And I'm just like, why would you go to Iori
Okay.
first for the crest of friendship? That's kind of cute, but
I mean, everyone wants to be his friend.
yeah. I just thought that was a cute thing. And then, everyone takes their turn, nobody can lift it, and, everyone's like, all right, Daisuke, you're the last one up, go ahead. And he's like, what? No, it can't be mine. I don't know what friendship is. Which is just like, okay.
This
weird
is
thing.
such a weird, yeah, it's this weird, it's this one's a weird character conflict for Daisuke, because he doesn't understand why punching each other means you're friends, so that's why he can't have the crest of friendship or something.
It's
I think they're trying to go for something kind of like Yamato, where like he had the crest
Yeah.
of friendship, but he's like, I'm not like a friendly, outgoing person, so obviously that doesn't fit me.
but the
But-
problem is that Daisuke is in fact a friendly and outgoing person.
Yeah, it's kind of it's a very square peg round circle kind of situation, I think, where they're trying to graft like Yamato's traits onto Daisuke, and it doesn't work because he's fucking Daisuke.
Yeah, it's one of those like kind of odd contrivances that they do for the sake of
I do think I like how it plays out here, though.
yeah,
They're later on anyway.
I'm fine with like the end result of it. It was just like this really weird thing for him to just be like, I don't know what friendship is. I'm like, bro, you what? you
You're
have
like-
friends.
You have friends. You're like a pretty like there was like himself in the last session that was like really friendly. Like he's like an outgoing person. He plays like soccer. He seems on pretty good terms with his fucking soccer teammates. Like you're not. This is not the loner wolf that Yamato was kind of person. This doesn't really make sense.
Anyway, Yamato and Taichi get sick of his shit, and they basically are just like, lift the fucking egg, Daisuke. So
They nearly shove him onto that spike. Fucked
yeah,
up.
it's really funny.
Yeah, that's what it looks. It's like you're gonna kill this boy.
So Daisuke. So okay, Daisuke attempts to lift the egg, and there's like a brief shot of him like seemingly having a realization, and then he can't lift it, and.
Yeah.
I'm genuinely confused as to whether or not he actually couldn't lift it at this point, or if he's lying for no reason.
I think he was lying.
Okay, because it's really weird. Like, why would you lie? There's no reason to do that. It seems
Insecurity.
really. I guess so. It's really bizarre. Like, it's the same thing Yamato. Like, I don't want my crest because I don't know what friendship means and all that kind of stuff. But just very, very strange. They kind of like speed run Yamato's entire beginning arc in half an episode. Anyway, they start getting attacked by a Flymon, which is making like a bunch of awful fucking terrible noises that cause them all to get
Bleh.
headaches. Yeah.
I love him anyways. Flymon is such a good design, and
It
you
is
can't
a pretty
convince me otherwise.
pretty good design. I actually like it quite a bit. Miyako does a weird pose when she's having Hawkmon evolve for some reason. Oh, yeah,
Patamon
so
gets
they're all getting worked by Flymon because it's too quick, I guess, is the idea.
He's zipping around.
Yeah, because they all miss with their attacks because it just dodges out of the way. And then it steals Patamon. Like, it literally
It's
just grabs it.
It's like, how you doing there, Patamon? Patamon?
Patamon?
Patamon?
Oh my god, they took my boy!
I mean, he also just keeps stunning everyone by making loud noises.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he takes the boy, and as everyone is chasing after the Flymon, Metal Greymon and the Emperor show up. they are here now. And I believe Flymon like brings up Patamon to Ken. And like he's giving his, whole spiel about how I'm gonna use the Dark Spiral. Ooh, I'm gonna do it. Ooh, we're gonna be so fucked up and evil. And
Question:
yeah, what's up?
How would a Patamon wear a dark spiral?
I I think it would like just be wrapped around his entire chubby little body.
Very fashionably.
Or would it be like a really tiny one around one of his little chubby legs?
I think it would actually go on like his ear wing. Like it'd be wrapped around like the base of
Anyways,
the ear
I was
wing.
trying to frame that question as like how does a dog wear pants?
Yeah. I would like to think it's wrapped snugly around his bean body. So like Daisuke specifically is like, no, don't use like fire knuckle here. You might hit Patamon, and someone's like, fucking hit him if you gotta. Like, just attack. We don't want him getting taken. But
He won't die, probably.
right before he manages to put the spiral on Patamon, Garurumon finally shows up and manages to not only free Patamon, but also in the process break the ring that's on Flymon. So
Does he like fucking straight up kill Flymon? I forget.
I think it just breaks the ring and it just kind of fucks off afterwards.
And he just leaves. Gotta
Yeah.
go.
He's like, not under my control
My
anymore.
job here is done.
Mm-hmm. And so it's at this point because at one point Takaru like tried to like rush in and Metal Greymon almost killed him. And at this point, Daisuke starts like thinking like, damn, these people really like their partners. Takaru yeah.
They trust them so much, and like, yeah, it's like, and then the Flame from they're like, you do that for the same for me though, right, Daisuke? Well,
maybe.
Daisuke. What do you mean, maybe?
Maybe.
I found the character conflict in this one like also kind of weird because it like at a certain point it almost seemed like more of a question of like courage rather than friendship on Daisuke's part.
I feel like more like trust than like friendship.
Yeah, it got like it got odd and kind of muddled because like
I always took the thing as like, oh, like just trusting your friends to like, like fight you and not hurt you and all that kind of shit.
Yeah. Because everyone was constantly talking about like that they believe in each other, and that's why we know we're not going to accidentally kill each other. And he just like cannot fathom the idea.
I just like it kind of like the entire conflict sort of came across to me more as like him, like not having the fucking quote unquote courage to like go through and attack while potentially hurting. I don't know. I think they sort of had to tell you that it was a friendship thing a little more, just because otherwise it would probably come across as not exactly that.
Yeah, it's odd. Like the internal conflict really seems to be at its core. Daisuke cannot fathom not shooting to kill. Like he doesn't get the idea that you can fight people and not actively be trying to murder the shit out of them.
Dude would meet Vash the Stampede and be like, how the fuck do you do that?
So yeah, they like he's still waffling about the whole thing, and Yamato is like, so for whatever reason, Yamato insists on riding Garurumon during fights, and I don't understand why he does this.
He's having fun.
See, seems like it's more of like both a hazard to him and an inconvenience to Garurumon than it does to help either of them. But
Yeah, but all of the other O2 Digidestined also ride their Digimon when they're in the armor form.
Yeah,
So
so there's a funny thing about the armor evolutions is that they have a mobility one and a fighting one.
I think the answer is they have the mobility one so that they can make toys. But
I mean, yeah, and cool shots
It's
too. I
funny.
mean,
It's funny because I don't think they ever made like like little figures of the Digidestined to stick on the toys.
I don't think they did.
no, I don't think they did either.
But like in the long run, I think it is just like it looks really cool to ride on Gurumon and have him riding like Leidramon and stuff. It just looks cool. So, you know.
I know, but it's just funny to think like, how does
Mhm.
this help either of you? Kind of deal.
Yeah.
Cause I fuck with you heavy.
It's the trust. It's the trust of going into battle with your friend. Anyway, Daisuke has an epiphany about
I get it now.
yeah. He gets it now. So the Digi-Egg flies over to him. And anyway, the important thing is that we get Leidramon, and Leidramon is fucking cool as hell. Like, God, he's so cool.
All of like it's a thing of like this is maybe like my least favorite of Veemon's free armor forms. It's still cool as fuck. He just
Yeah.
kind of rolled like perfect sixes on all of his armor forms.
It's just just all of Veemon evolutions in general. I don't think there's a single bad one.
I used to not fuck with X Veemon, but like I've grown on him. I've
Yeah.
grown on him a lot.
I like him enough.
X Demon.
X Demon.
Hee.
And then obviously we won't ever really see it in the anime, but you know, Beedramon.
Yeah. Veemon's very cool. So they wind up managing to break the spiral by hitting it a lot. The secret to
his
breaking
ass.
the secret to breaking the spirals, hit them really hard.
of course.
So yeah, they manage to bust it, and Agumon immediately Digi evolves back down into Agumon.
And he makes a funny face.
Yeah.
Oh.
And Ken is immediately just like, well, shit, and like pieces out
Fuck!
as Airdramon.
Oh yeah, no, because he's still standing on Metal Greymon, so you see Erdramon swoop in
Yeah.
as he's digivolving, so Ken doesn't fall to his death.
Really good.
And gets so mad about that whole fight,
It's
by the
like,
way.
how did
I mean,
they
he
win?
spent like 3 fucking episodes trying to get this shit, and then fucking here comes Daisuke just fucking gets a new thing and immediately undoes all of it.
He's like,
And
how
then
the
Wormmon-
fuck did they do that? And Wormon's like, because they trusted each other and they're friends. It's like, are you really? He's like, dude, are you seriously trying to fucking tell me I lost a friendship?
He says, "Are you saying this was caused by their friendship?" And I wrote in my notes, "Yes, like exactly. That's exactly what happened."
That is
Bro,
in
are
fact the
you
moral of
fucking-
this.
Bro, are you fucking serious?
So they all get back to the real world, and Daisuke's like, yeah, it was all me. I'm the fucking strongest. And everyone's like, well,
I
you know.
like there's a bit where Chibiman says like, in that moment I felt like everyone's power going through me. I think
Mhm.
that's how I was able to break the evil ring.
Mhm.
And then,
He's like, nah, and then Daisuke's like, nah, it's all me.
saw me as he like puts Chivimon in a fucking headlock or something.
It's
He
so
starts
good.
shaking him.
Chivimon doesn't deserve this.
Chibiman.
Little guy. Okay.
Digimon should be my partner instead.
I deserve
I wish
more.
I had I fucking wish I had a Chivimon, dude.
Don't we all?
That'd be so awesome.
You already.
I do have Gigimon already.
I
So
know,
easy.
I was about to-
He's
I'm like-
chilling. Hi, Gigimon.
Anyway, Shin Dub Zone episode 11, Storm of Friendship, which is just Leidramon's title.
Yep.
So name changes
That
because
is-
there was
Oh no, that is kind of a funny thing. Like they do kind of have to mess around with it a little bit, just because like certain elements overlap. But I do think it's funny that like Gabumon is associated with lightning
yeah.
in this sense. It's like that would be more like Zudomon, but whatever.
Mhm. It's fine. All right, name changes. Leidramon was changed to Raydramon.
I don't really get why.
I think that is literally just they fucked up the Romaji.
Yep. They directly like
Like
just
as in Raijin or
Yeah.
Raiden.
because it's Raidramon.
Raidramon.
Yeah. So they just they transliterated it. So it's just
I
the literal
actually,
Romaji.
Let me check something real quick because I have the card for it right here.
It's Lydramon, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, did they retcon it back to Lightramon?
Let me see here. Yeah, it's Lydramon in the TCG now.
So they have retconned it back to Lightramon. Okay.
Yeah.
So he has 4 fucking moves: Thunderbolt, Electric Bite, Lightning Blade, and Blue Thunder. The only 2 he uses in this episode are Electric Bite and Blue Thunder, which actually remain the same. They are named appropriately.
Oh, sorry, real quick. I just remembered why they changed it back to Lydramon.
Oh,
why?
There is an appmon called Raidramon. Do you want to know the funny thing is, Bridget? It's the evolution of Hackmon.
Oh my god! That motherfucker did it twice. He did it twice.
He did it twice. Holy shit!
Fucking 07 for Hawkmon.
Twice this motherfucker has caused them to have to appropriately rename something in English. But yeah, Thunderbolt and Lightning Blade weren't used, I don't think, at any point during these episodes, so no names for those yet. I imagine they will just be called Blue Thunder or some other shit.
I think Lightning Blade was used to cut the ring.
Oh yeah, he just didn't say an attack name during that in the dub, I think.
Because I think Blue Thunder was actually also used in this episode, so I guess he just didn't name either of them.
Yep. He says Blue Thunder in the dub, but yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, Blue Thunder and Lightning Bite are named in the description of him.
Okay.
So, yeah, those are still called the same thing in English. Metal Greymon is constantly just going ah. So that's
like reminds me of Gus Lord from Pokemon. I was thinking Gus
Ken is talking to Metal Greymon and he goes, "You're ready for a fight now, aren't you?" Like he's talking to a fucking dog.
I would also talk to Metal Greymon like this, to be fair.
Mm. When Davis is initially starting his argument with TK, he says, "That's all TS." just another fucking misnomer.
I genuinely wonder if they're gonna pay this off with him actually saying his name properly.
Maybe.
Or they'll just be like, they're such good friends. You can't even say this guy's name.
That was a thing I kind of forgot to mention in episode 11 because I was busy having a mini migraine, apparently. They at least for this first half, I know this just fucking disappears in the second half. They're kind of really trying to position Takeru as Daisuke's Yamato.
Yes, they are.
They're really trying to go for it, and the moment Ken enters the picture, that goes immediately away. It's really funny to see in hindsight.
He's just not Ken. Takeru's just not mean enough for it.
He really isn't. It just really doesn't work.
Like, he only starts getting mad if Daisuke really prods him.
Mm-hmm. At one point during their argument, TK says, "And don't make fun of my hat," which, no, your hat sucks. People should make fun of it.
Check out my cool bucket hat.
When they're talking about the egg, fucking Davis goes, "Or maybe it's meant for the one with the fewest friends." Pause. Like me. It's just like, man, what the fuck?
Man, what the fuck?
Don't put yourself down like that.
What the hell?
Okay, so here's something terrible. So remember how, he's constantly talking about how he doesn't know what friendship is. The egg can't possibly be for him.
Yeah.
In the dub, that entire conversation is gone and is replaced with a bad extended joke about physics.
Of course it was.
Of course it was.
At one point he's like, yeah, something about the equilibrium, that thing where 2 libriums are equal weight. It's awful.
What?
It's an extended bad joke.
When the librium is equal.
It's so bad.
Nice joke, librium.
Did you get it at the equal store?
God fucking damn it!
They're gendered.
Ha, even under my crane, I'm still funny.
Funnier than the dub writers, that's for sure. At one point, Ken exclaims, "Don't interrupt me while I'm planning my evil deeds."
I'm always saying this.
I mean, he would say this even in the sub, so fucking fair enough.
Except you'd be like, ooh, because it's Romy Park.
Yeah, but he would sell this like at all.
I think Ken's VA, because it's Eric.
He is
pretty good.
He is really. I always think about that. I don't even think about Nice Friends. I think about when he kicks the dog, or
Yeah.
when he doesn't kick the dog. He says, "Stupid mutt."
Stupid mutt.
Stupid mutt.
Derek Stephen Prince is really he's just fucking like really hamming
He's
it up. and
probably
it's
the best
awesome.
VA too. He is probably like the best VA they had for these dubs. Like all of them.
Yeah, probably. So when when Davis is initially activating the Digi-Egg of friendship, he screams, "Vemon, I'm your friend!"
Oh!
No, he That's my entire note, by the way.
You are my dream.
And then when the fucking at one point Ken makes a gasp and he goes like it's like it's so funny. The noise that comes out of that kid's mouth. At one point, Matt says, "Right, Garurumon," and Garurumon says, "Right," like he's like he's the fucking Tony the Tiger.
That's pretty funny, actually.
There's another insert song for English. It's the Digimon "We Fight to Win." We got the power.
I genuinely don't remember this one.
Yeah,
Neither-
I'm trying to I'm trying to visualize it, or like
That one
put
wasn't in
audio to it.
That one wasn't in Digimon the movie, so who cares?
Exactly.
Okay, so I can remember things from like the adventure dub, because that was a dub I had like rewatched and then went, "Oh, this sucks," and then immediately me and a friend rewatched the show in Japanese.
Mm-hmm.
But we had already known that the dub sucked, so we never watched the O2 dub. So the last time I watched that shit was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
More. So I can't really put that one this wasn't in either the adventure dub or the Digimon movie, so it's not real.
Yep. But yeah, I had forgotten the song existed as well. When Ken and Wormmon are flying back on the Airdramon, Wormmon says, "Is it okay if I drive? You said I could."
Man,
Let him drive.
Let him drive. At one point they make a bad James Bond joke. I don't even remember what it was.
Sure.
And so at the end of the episode,
007.
at the end of the episode, Davis says, "I got a noogie that makes me one of the guys now, right?" And
What?
hold on. Chibimon's response to this made my note be in all caps, "transphobic Chibimon," with a bunch of fucking question marks. Chibimon says, "I thought you were already one of the guys. Were you not? Were you a girl? Why can't you humans ever just decide?"
Jesus Christ.
That's not like it's not. I guess it's not necessarily like rejecting other gender identities. He's just like, come on, fucking pick
a gender already.
It's more non-binary phobia than anything, I'd say.
Yeah, I don't think whoever wrote this even knows what a trans person is.
Absolutely
It
not.
was the early 2000s.
They do not know. There are several things they do not know, because there's a dub line in a later episode that made me lose my fucking mind. But we'll get to that one.
Yay!
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yay. Okay. Moving into episode 12, Duel on the Digimon Ranch. God, this episode is great.
I love
This
this one.
This one was great. This one was awesome.
This episode's so fucking funny.
So badass.
And you know what's the fucking the surprising bit about it? The Sora episode.
Yeah! Sora got a
What
good
the
episode.
fuck? This is a better episode than Sora got in it. What's happening?
So, the episode opens up on Birdramon having an actual fucking dog fight with a bunch
Like,
of
they're
Airdramon, right?
Airdramon. They're
Yeah.
shooting laser beams.
Yeah.
They're
Side
like,
note,
pew.
side note, Ken really likes these fucking Airdramon, doesn't
Yeah.
he?
They're pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Airdramon's
they're
cool.
kind of cool.
So,
Kind of
yeah,
sick with it.
Birdramon gets taken down. And
And Sora's gonna be like, something is wrong.
I feel a disturbance. She's playing tennis now because she does that, in case you forgot. She plays tennis now.
I
Stupid.
kind of hate that because it's
Yeah.
like such like I because it's like I know guys play, but it feels like especially with like the skirts and shit, it's like oh, it's such a more like inherently feminine sport than fucking soccer is, and it's like oh, we're already kind of seeing that she's like probably going with what her mom wants, which is
Yeah, there are some larger implications at work, but it's fine. The episode's good, and we don't have to think about it anymore
yeah, I know.
until the end of episode 50. So yeah, she feels a weird disturbance and like rushes over to her bag, and she sees that her Digivice is like flashing red as like an SOS from Piomon. So she sends out an email to all the new Digidestined being like, red alert, Piomon's in trouble. So we cut to all of them individually going about their mornings. Hikari and Tailmon are about to go for a walk, and Tailmon is sitting like fixing her hair in the mirror.
She's so real for that.
Patamon and Takaru are sleeping, so you know that
The way
just-
they animated that is really funny because like there's clearly like the layer of the animation of those two sleeping and the
Yeah.
layer on top of that of their fucking like little snot bubbles that are like they're not occupying the same dimension at all.
it's really funny looking. So yeah, they're sleeping. Daisuke has just finished eating dinner, and Chibimon is like has eaten a bunch of stuff as well, and like he gets the email and he turns around, and for whatever reason, Chibimon's face is so fucking detailed, and he's so serious.
And Daisuke's like, my fucking foot. I've lost my. You've gone through my whole month fucking budget.
I'm going
man.
to be bankrupt by the end of the month because of you.
No time to talk about that, Daisuke. Piomon's in trouble. Then we cut to Iori, and Upamon is in just the headgear for Kendo, swinging the sword somehow.
Vroom, vroom, vroom. Dagyaa.
It's really good.
Yeah.
So yeah, they all leave, or well, those two leave because they're the ones who actually received the email. And on Iori's way to the school, he literally runs into Miyako and explains the situation. So the two of them, they're hiding their Digimon under their shirts as they sneak into the school, which is a funny little visual. When they
Yeah.
once they get there, get into the digital world, they appear right in the middle of a sandstorm, and holy shit, Daisuke actually uses his goggles.
It's like everyone. Oh, you all look so stupid.
Yeah, well, once the sandstorm is calming down, we actually see Daisuke was wearing his goggles, which is insane because he didn't when, this happened last time. And I think there's
Let's be fair. How often does Taichi actually like use his goggles as goggles? Because I also don't think he did that very often either.
I think
don't-
he did once.
yeah. I know very specifically this is getting way ahead of ourselves, but there is specifically a bit in I believe Tamers where Takato is in the middle of a sandstorm and is like covering his face with his arm and he has his goggles right on top of his head.
They really don't.
Classic Tumblr post right there.
Yeah.
You have fucking goggles on your head. God.
It's really funny because he's wearing the goggles in the intro.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
They never use the goggles as goggles, despite it being so iconic in Digimon. Anyway,
So they wind up in like an old west town, and there's a piano just like doing an autoplay type of thing, like it's a player piano. And so they come into this old timey saloon, and while they're like wondering what's going on, Starmon appears from behind the bar, and he's like, "Welcome, here's some milk," and just
Y'all kids want some drinks?
You
also
boys want some milk?
he passes milk to all of them. Fucked up fact: I didn't know Starmon's star was armor. I
Yeah.
kind of just thought that was his body.
No, I see. The thing I didn't notice about Starmon's design until now is that both his arms and his legs are literally just made out of belts.
Yeah, they're covered in belts, top to bottom. It's awesome. So
I think
cool.
Omnimon's kind of like that, or at least his waist is.
Think so. One of them is.
Fighter mode has like belts around his waist. I know that much.
Yeah,
They gotta have that snatched waist.
gotta have
Yo.
that snatched waist.
The royal might look.
Yeah, and he's like, so Starmon's like, I'm a defender of justice, watching over this town. And Omnimon's like, I don't trust him.
Yeah. Anyone who says they're a defender of justice usually isn't. Our body bomb said ACAB.
So good for him. So Sora's like, have you seen Biomon? And he's like, yeah. The Emperor's looking for her.
And the fucking one poster with the fucking look on Biomon's face is so good.
It's so good. I also like that he out loud says finger snap when he snaps his fingers to make the wanted poster show up. Yeah, there's like a wall of wanted posters, and Sora's like, "What did she do?" And he's like, "Well, she's on the run from the Digimon Emperor, and I know where
so
she is."
nothing.
Yeah,
Phew.
she's like,
Oh,
"Oh,
thank God."
thank God."
I was worried she'd done something horrible.
Yeah, she's not like one of those Digimon that have that have a dark ring on them. Those people are assholes. And then Starmon's like,
He's like,
Yeah.
just like all bashful about it.
Like, yeah, it's crazy.
he takes off his hat and there's a dark ring underneath, and everyone's
I'm
like,
sorry. He's like, I'm sorry to bring this to you like this, and then he like bashfully takes off his fucking hat to reveal the dark ring on top of it.
He gives them milk first, doesn't he?
yeah, no, he gives them milk. He passes them all milk.
Okay, so yeah, there's like this really good shot of them all just lined up with milk.
Yeah.
And like, okay, so has anyone seen this like like really stupid old PC game called The Town with No Name?
Yes.
The fucking shot where he like slides across like a glass of milk.
Okay, so that shot looked really funny because it just seemed like he had like a glass of milk spawning point where he could just infinitely grab glasses of milk from.
He just keeps making the same motion and the same milk keeps duplicating itself.
Yeah, it was fucking asexually producing milk.
Mitosis.
Mitosis.
God.
As he calls it, the welcome milk.
Yeah, the welcome milk.
I don't need his welcome milk.
So Vmon is immediately just like, I knew there was no defender of justice in the town, and Daisuke's like, no, what?
No, you didn't.
Shut up.
You were not saying that at all, actually.
Guy who kind of knows things.
And then as Starmon is like explaining that he's about to arrest them all, they all bail. They just fucking leave.
Oh! Come back! I fucking like Starmon has always been one of my favorite minor Digimon. I forgot how funny he was in this episode.
This episode is so fucking funny. He's like, they left while I was in the middle of my speech. So he rushes out and he's like, you kids aren't getting away. And he does the meteor storm and just fucking hits all of them. They all get taken out.
Wait, he's like an adult level only,
Yeah,
right?
he's only an adult.
Adult level.
Kind of a fucking strong ass move for an adult level Digimon to have, by the way. Like,
just
Jesus
a massive
Christ.
AoE. So a jail for you children. He throws them all in jail and they're all bound by ropes. I don't know why I think it's only the kids are bound by ropes for some reason.
No, they all are.
Oh, they all are? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then in an attempt to escape, Vmon tries V headbutt on the wall like of the fucking cell, and it leaves a Vmon head-shaped mark on the wall.
Yes, that's after all the Piomon stuff happens, because we get that really fucked up frame of Piomon.
Yeah, where it's like dying.
Yeah.
Like...
She is literally dying, and there's a there's a very good exchange between Piyomon and Sora that I like a lot. That is more, I think, more characterization than either of them got in the entirety of the original adventure. Where Piyomon chastises Sora for being late, and then she says, "You're so late, but you showed up, so I'll forgive you."
Nah.
It's really sweet. I like it a lot. And again, more than they got in the entirety of the original adventure. And then Vmon fucking headbutting the wall.
Oh yeah, and before Starmon leaves, he's like, "Oh, I can't wait to tell the Emperor about this."
I'm gonna get so many good boy points.
He's like, "Oh, when." Oh, never mind. I'll wait. That's
Okay.
a later bit.
Yeah, that's later. I know what you're trying to refer to. Yeah, then Vmon again, just the fucking Vmon head indent that he leaves on the fucking wall is so funny.
So yeah, while they're all kind of like figuring out what they're trying to do, they hear like horse galloping and noises, and they're all just like, "What the fuck is that?" And then Rivalmon shows up. He kicks open the door, screaming about allies of justice, which is really funny because he's a gun. Just fucking bust down the door. So all of them are immediately just like, no, and he's like, "Why don't you fucking believe me?"
Cause show us the evil ring, and like, take off your hat, take off your gloves, take off your shoes.
No, I really didn't appreciate the shoes frame, frankly. Didn't need that.
Take off your underwear. No, wait, put them back on,
Rivalmon's like, "Any requests?" And they're all like, yeah, lose the shorts. So yeah, he strips down completely naked to show them that he does not have a fucking ring on him. And then he says, "All right, I'm gonna be rescuing you, but only the women."
You go play cards with me. We're like, nah.
And so he opens the lock, and he actually only rescues the women, which like it's like, to me, like, I don't know why I found that so funny that he actually only took the girls with him and just left the dudes.
It's like, oh, you were serious.
Yeah.
The thing that also makes it funny is that when he like not only keeps the boys locked up, but puts extra locks on the
he leaves like 50 padlocks on there.
It's so fucking
and they're
funny.
just not even like angry or like panicked. They're just like, he actually fucking did it.
Yeah. So when
at one point it cuts back to Starmon, who has built a fucking gallows.
Yeah. An insanely tall gallows in the middle of town.
He's like, "Oh, the Emperor's gonna love this."
So
he would. He's a psychopath.
True. So Starmon,
goes back to his office, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna have my lunch," which he has decorated with to look like the Emperor's face.
And
yeah, when a cute version of the Emperor's face with like love or something underneath the fucking
Kaiser love or something like that.
Yeah.
So like he looks in the jail cell and he notices that like only the dudes are there and they both fade into frame. And Daisuke's just like,
yeah,
Rivalmon took the girls.
And then like defeated. A fighting game health bar appears.
I think it's supposed to be like his anger meter.
Yeah, no, it's like he got like 2 supers.
And he fucking like just shoots out the door. And Daisuke and Iori are just like, well, we're just still stuck here.
But then they noticed that he left his like, because before, like after Vmon did the V headbutt thing, like Iori's like, "Oh well, if you just like armor digivolve the Digimon, like it'll like we can get out." And
then Digmon's like, "Well, yeah, but I'm hungry."
Armand was like, "I'm hungry." Yeah, so they noticed that he left his lunch behind, so they like devised their fucking like the ropes that have kept him captive, like as a lasso to grab the lunch to feed Armadimon with.
And he's like Armadimon, pretend the rope is food.
Yeah, it's an appetizer for the actual food to get the ropes off him.
And then as Armadimon's eating his lunch, Vmon's like, "Can I have some?" And then Daisuke's like, "No, you had more than fucking enough back at home." Stop it.
And then our
But then there's a
offers
really
them
cute,
the other
like,
way.
would you like some?
Yeah.
It was so fucking cute.
Yeah, it was great. Fucking love it. At some point, like in between the getting the food and everything, it cuts to Revolmon like actually playing cards with the girls, and like at one point, I think Sora says, "Do you think we could just jump him and like take him?" And Miyako's
It's
like,
and it's
"He
like,
has a gun."
it's like he has a fucking gun.
It's-
Like there's like,
he doesn't just have a gun, he is a gun.
yeah, but that's like, he's got like supernatural energy power to fire out of that gun. He's just also got a regular handgun.
This episode is so fucking funny. So funny. So Starmon shows up at the card game, and Revolmon's like, okay, fine, and they get into like the dueling stance, and so Starmon's like, okay, we're gonna do this the honorable right way. We're gonna turn
Yeah, 3
around with
paces.
3 paces, turn around and fire. So that they begin the 1, 2, and as he's saying 3, Revolmon shoots at him, and like there's
He's like, I win, I win.
I win.
I like how Revolmon. I like the funny clips of Revolmon where he's not being controlled by like.
He's just a dickhead.
He's just a dickhead. He's arguably worse than the Starmon with the evil fucking circle around him.
I think Miyako even says that it's like,
Yeah.
it's like, I think she even brings up, this is not the first time this has happened.
Yeah. The act of they're just like, okay, so which one are we rooting for?
Neither.
So
I hope everyone involved dies.
Revolmon begins screaming justice over and over again as he fires his justice bullet.
And then
And then he runs out.
And then
he's
he
like,
runs out of
fuck,
ammo.
I'm out of ammo. Oh god, I'm out of ammo. Shit.
And Starmon instantly owns him. At this point, Digimon has successfully broken them out of the jail cell. So I believe Daisuke and Vmon see the meteor storm happen that hits Revolmon, so they rush over there on Lydramon, which is just the PNG sliding while getting smaller. It's really funny.
Nah, that's Digimon animation for you, baby.
You'll love it.
So yeah, they get there. Daisuke finds, Lydramon can't really do much, so he's like, switch me to Flamedramon. He's better at fighting. So he switches, and he does manage to knock Starmon into the fucking stratosphere. And then he crashes into the giant gallows he built, which, as it turns out, he built over the Dark Spire. So it takes the
That's
whole fucking
effective.
thing out. Yeah. It takes the whole thing out, and at that point, Iori and Digimon also like rejoin with everyone. Because the spire's been taken out and everything, and the ring has broken, and they're all just kind of like doing their friendly little wrap up. And now that everyone's all nice and kind again, Revolmon's like, okay, but we're playing cards though, right? So they all play cards in the restaurant.
We gotta go home though.
they gotta play cards. Yeah, the episode ends with them all playing cards. It's nice. God, this episode rules. What a fun fucking episode. Like, I think this is like when O2 is at its peak, is when they're just doing like the fun episodes.
Yeah, I
It-
think like this cast just like besides like Iori maybe
Mhm.
they don't really like. I think a thing that kind of defines this cast differently from the Adventure one is that none of them have particularly like
Hang-ups.
super complicated like obviously like Hikari and Takeru still do from Adventure, but like at this point they've like mostly like
Matured
gone.
past it.
Yeah, they moved past it and they've gotten that stuff of those two out of the way already in the original. And then like especially like Daisuke and Miyako don't really got super complicated like lives back home.
Yeah.
Or anything. So like a lot of the hangups that kind of define the Adventure cast just sort of aren't here, which means that like I think a lot of the character development episodes and shit don't really hit as hard with these guys, but they work really well in these comedic one-offs.
Yes.
I do
Absolutely.
think, like, I will say, like, I do think, like, most of the cast of 01 have fun personalities, but I think just, like, I just think the 02 kids have much more fun personalities.
Yes.
I think the interplay between them works a lot better than the adventure guys.
Mm-hmm. They like, yeah. I think I probably said this like fucking 17 times, but as like a genuine group of friends who hang out with each other, they work much better, which I think is
Yeah.
the point in the first place. So
Yeah, I think like as a group unit they're stronger, but as like individual characters who are like meant to focus carry like character focus episodes, I really do think only Ken later
Mhm.
on really has
I think
that kind
Zero
of
One.
weight.
I think Zero One like I think Zero One just kind of struggles to do it just because it has so many more characters than
Yeah.
Zero Two does.
Yeah.
Mhm. But moving into Shin Dub Zone episode 12, The Good, the Bad, and the Digi. Because we got
I get it.
yeah,
The
it's
movie.
yep.
That's the only Western movie.
It's the only one. The only one that
Yep.
exists. Okay, so name changes. Starmon, the same. Meteor Storm was changed to Meteor Shower, whatever.
Sure.
Revolmon was changed to Deputymon.
You're my favorite deputy.
Deputy.
But he's
That
not the
one-
sheriff.
I'm sure that there's some weird shit with like directly referencing a type of gun in a children's show. So sure, whatever.
But he's literally a gun.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
shockingly enough, none of his design is censored. It'd probably be way too much work, but I was expecting them to do anything. Instead, anytime he fires a gun in any way, shape, or form is just not in the show. Every
Yes.
instance of him firing has been removed.
Yeah.
So
probably the best
also,
they could do.
yeah, his attack is not named because he doesn't use it.
Yeah.
So when Gatomon is like doing the thing at the beginning, there's almost a good joke buried among 5 or 6 really bad ones. Yeah, so like in between a bunch of bad jokes, she says like it's beauty takes time, and Kari goes, "Oh, do you have time to help me with some chores then?" And Gatomon's like, "Well, time's up," and hops off the chair. And then there's a bunch of bad jokes that it's sandwiched between, but that one was cute at least.
Yeah.
When when Cody runs into Yoli, she's like, "Man, what did you eat? You gained like 20 pounds." Cody goes, It's Upamon," and she goes, "You ate Upamon," which I thought was pretty funny.
It is.
When Kari and Gatomon are at the beach, they're just hanging out. Gatomon says, "No, the fish market's calling me," and then she says in a really like much quieter, "Gatomon," like really quietly. So fucking stupid.
Gatomon.
Starmon, of course, talks like an old timey sheriff.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeehaw.
I do think that's kind of what they were going for him in Japanese anyway.
yeah,
Yeah.
It makes sense.
I don't. I literally said, "I was like, yeah, of course." Like, I don't really see any
Yeah.
problem with that. That
No,
seems
yeah, there's
fine.
there's
Yeah.
no issue with it. I just felt the need to
I'm
point
just
it out
gonna,
because
lines up probably.
At one point, he says there's no shucking oysters in a month without an R, as one of the rules he has. Which, okay, weird fucking. I don't know if that's a reference to something or if that's just a weird fucking thing he says.
I got nothing.
The cute line where Biyomon is talking about forgiving Sora for being late is not in the dub at all. It's a bad joke.
Of course.
That I didn't write down because fuck you. Deputymon is doing a really heavy, like, flanderization of a John Wayne impression, and it is the funniest fucking thing in this entire show. Every time he opened his mouth, I was dying. Fucking, "Oh, you kids there need to get out of that." It's so fucking funny the way he's talking. Oh my god, I was losing it. It's so good. Yeah, him shooting the lock is cut. The door just magically opens for no reason. So there's a line where my note is trans Hawkmon. Yo! Because he says he's only taking the girls because boys cheat at cards. And both Biyomon and Hawkmon say, "But we're not boys."
But huh?
but Hawkmon is explicitly a guy. So I was just like,
What?
oh my god. I can't believe it. Hawkmon trans girl confirmed.
Good for her.
Good for her. I will be
That one we should
exclusive.
every time we talk about Dub Hawkmon specifically, we need to refer to them as a her.
Yep. It's fucked up, but that it's confirmed. It's in the dialogue. That's the way it's written. So
How it is.
when Starmon is asking what happened to the girls, Davis is reading the line. He just goes, "Deputy Mon freed the girls. Said boys cheat at cards." He just sounds so defeated while he's doing the line read. It's really good. At one point, when they start talking about cards, they're talking about maybe they can make him bored to death by playing canasta. Children aren't gonna fucking know what canasta is.
I don't know what canasta is.
It's one of the it's a card game. Like it's a card game that nobody fucking plays. I have heard about it in passing. I've never seen it played. I don't know the rules, but I recognize the name, and I was like, no child is going to know what fucking canasta is. It's apparently like it's a rummy offshoot or something, according to the Wikipedia article I had to look up to make sure I wasn't fucking wrong. So yeah, all the gunshots are just cut. So when they're doing like the duel, instead Starmon just stops and the scuff mark just kind of fades in on his face for no reason. And he goes, "You turned around early." It's like, what? Yeah? What? Okay. Obviously him screaming justice, justice, justice over and over again was cut because all of the gunshots are cut entirely.
So
And
what happens there?
Nothing. He just gets owned instantly. It basically just cuts to him getting owned after cheating at the duel. So, and that was pretty much it. There weren't any, aside from more bad jokes and shit. There wasn't anything else in the dub in particular. But yeah. We're 2 episodes in. Let's go ahead and do Digimon of the week.
Yes, let's go do that, please.
Anything
Alright.
to delay the fucking inevitable. So, Momo, why don't you tell us all about this Digimon?
That's well, you got that, you got Revolvemon. He's a revolver. This Gundramon.
So what do you think? What would you say Gundramon's deal is, Momo? Like what?
I think he enjoys walks.
Is there any
anything
like,
else?
He's pretty big.
he is pretty big.
He's probably bigger than like Wargreymon.
So now the name Gundramon is pretty obviously like it's pretty interesting. Let's break it down. So obviously the gun.
Well, the
not
Dra is I
yeah.
should know. It's
Yes.
like Dra. It's like the Dramon, so it's like a dragon Digimon.
Yes, of
So
course.
The Draymond killers.
And Gun stands for guns because he's made a lot of guns.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
We're finally crossing that bridge, huh? Thank God.
Okay, so that
He's a
explains.
very funny guy. He's
Okay.
a really funny guy.
I was wondering what like the everything that was going on here, but okay, he's made of guns. I see that now.
I believe he is one of the. He's the main evolution for Revolmon, which is
Yes.
funny.
I mean,
We're getting a new card of him actually in what EX7?
Because he is also one of those. He's also one of those obscure like factions in Digimon that never get used in anything. He's one of the 3 Musketeers.
Yeah, love those guys.
He's in the same group as Beelstarmon.
With Beelstarmon and Magna Kidmon.
All banger designs. I wish they would use them in more stuff.
It's really funny to me though that like they looked at fucking Revolmon and were like, well, we can focus on the cowboy thing, or and hear me out on this one.
Well, you got Magna Kidmon, who's both. So it's probably more Magna Kidmon.
God, Magna Kidmon is so cool. But we could talk about him another week, maybe.
Oh boy!
All right. Which means we can get straight into.
I'll let you. Just real quick, I'll let you kick it off. I need to go see if my food's here.
Okay. Episode 13, Dagamon's Call.
Yep.
So, this episode, fucking God, man, fuck this episode. There's my first note is, can we just skip this maybe?
No.
I know we have
My
to talk about it.
my last note for last episode and my only note for this episode is, "Oh no."
Yeah, so let's just go through the episode normally, and when we get to it, we'll get to it.
Yeah.
So the episode starts off, and immediately this episode is very weird. It's very, very weird. The tone is like weirdly like off-putting and like not dark, more just like
Melancholy.
yeah, like there's something like even the color palette feels like more muted in general, which is obviously on
It-
purpose.
Yeah.
And like Hikari is having some like bizarre issues, um, which admittedly come out of nowhere. So
Yeah.
like she's walking to school and she's clearly not 100% with it. Takaru comes up behind her to call out to her, and she turns around screaming like turns around screaming out for Taichi, which is bizarre.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, haha, Takaru, sorry, I didn't know it was you." Um, and like she like very clearly something is wrong with her right now because like she's very despondent and having like weird issues. While they're in the classroom, like doing some kind of test or something, she starts like disassociating, and it transitioned into her like being at her desk in the middle of just like just an
Water.
ocean, just water, like water everywhere as far as the eye can see. And like she starts like she's not saying anything, right? Like she's just kind of like having almost like a mini freak out of like just dissociating. And
Yeah.
Takaru notices her body is like glitching out and immediately calls out to her, and everyone else looks at her and she looks normal. And then she almost passes out. Like she almost faints. So she opts to go to the nurse's office. And this is the point during the episode where my note is literally, man, this is mysterious and creepy. I sure hope the reason behind it isn't something fucking vile. Because, you know, completely removing all context from this episode in a vacuum, genuinely, this is super cool. Like the vibe of this episode is really like off-putting and creepy. And if it had any decent payoff or any build up, I think it would actually be a super, super cool episode. It embodies a lot of like the Ghost Game episodes I really like, where it's just like really fucking weird and out there. Um, so on her way to the nurse's office, she fucking like starts hearing something calling to her, and there's like a silhouette in the hallway following her, and it's like dripping water. She has a hallucination of herself talking to Taichi briefly. I think it's her apologizing to him, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. I think it's about. It's like because they're in. It's them as they were in Adventure.
Mhm.
So I think it's meant to be like. I want to say it was like something during the Mugendramon arc, probably.
Maybe, yeah. So, like, it's just really just very bizarre. Like, again, cannot stress enough, none of this has built up. This shit just starts happening.
Also, a really weird episode preceded, like to have precede this. By the way,
Yes.
like
Yeah.
going from
Right
like
after fucking Wild West hijinks to this.
yeah, it's just, and I maybe that was part of the point, but also, man,
I don't think it landed very well.
No.
I don't think this works. As we, but I think that isn't the next scene her like sitting outside and
Yes, it's the bit where
Yeah, she
Takaru
doesn't go to
starts.
the office. She just goes sits down.
Yeah, Takaru finds out she didn't go to the nurse's office and is like searching the school and finds her sitting on a bench outside. And yeah, did you want to talk
Starts
about
getting
this
angry at
specifically?
her.
Yeah, did you want to talk about this specifically, Bridget? Because you sounded like you.
yeah, okay, so I forget the complete context of the conversation, but effectively like Takaru starts going off at her about how she's really over reliant on Taichi or something.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets like mad about it and storms off. This doesn't work on like several degrees, basically at all. One is like she doesn't bring up Taichi like much at all in the show so far. Like there has been no point in which he's been shown as like particularly weak or like, you know, does just there's no part of Hikari as we've seen her in Zero Two that's like she she's always like thinking about or needing Taichi. It's this really fucking weird thing I've noticed that like the people who aren't the main writers on Digimon do whenever they do get around to whenever they do work on it. There's like a really fucking weird production note from Mamoru Hosoda about episode 21
Mhm.
where he like intentionally framed Taichi and Hikari in that episode as like a couple or something.
What?
What?
Yeah. Yes. You can look this up. I swear to God, I'm not fucking making this up. It's just this weird because okay. I think at this point also like giving up the ghost a little bit. This is the episode written by Chiaki J Kanaka, the guy who would go on to work on Digimon Tamers, and you know for some other things.
Yeah, but it's fine. Those are non-canon. He's apologized for them.
Yeah. And he has not worked on Zero Two before or since. This is his one contribution before, presumably, they would just be like, all right, we're going to have you like work on pre-production for the next show or something. And so like, it's this weird thing like both Hosoda and Kanaka have done where they frame Hikari and her relationship with Taichi as really kind of weird and almost, I want to say, bro-conny in a way.
Yeah, like
At the very least, like over dependent on him, even though none of that lines up with anything.
yeah. And like the thing is, like Hikari was always fucking weird as a kid. Like that's part of her character is that she's just kind of like off. So this could have worked.
Coded
Yeah,
in a way.
like this could have worked. This easily could have worked without the weird kind of aspects they bring into it. Very bizarre.
But also, like, not only was this never brought up, Takeru is just completely out of character in this episode. Like, entirely. This is not the same guy for the rest of the show. His, like, weird overprotectiveness of Hikari, like, I really get the sense that Kanaka was, like, under the impression that these two are supposed to be an item.
Would not surprise me.
really get the sense that he thought that was meant to be the case, because Takeru's weird overprotectiveness is kind of, with some other aspects, you could argue leans into maybe treating Hikari a little misogynistically, especially with how fucking kind of completely helpless she is the entire episode. It just really doesn't work. I really fucking just did not like Takeru at all this entire episode.
Yeah, he's very weird. Very weird the whole time. So Hikari leaves. Tailmon sees her like crossing the street, and she has the glitchiness about her again. And as a truck passes in front of her, she's gone. Like the backpack is still there, it falls to the ground. Hikari is just gone, which is fucking weird. Obviously. Anyway, we cut back to the computer club, and hey, look, Miyako's getting to do tech things, which is cool. I'm pretty sure this is the last time she ever does anything like this, which is really unfortunate. She's trying to expand the functionality of the D3s and the D terminals so that they can
just talk to each other instead of just sending emails.
Yeah,
like
basically a call
Yeah.
rather than text.
He's trying to like install a call function. That's really funny.
Yeah, it's cool. She's doing tech stuff. God, let her fucking do the tech things, please.
Let her cook.
So they all like Takeru shows up and it's just like he's freaking out, and Tailmon also shows up and she's just like, Hikari's gone. And everyone is just like, what do you mean she's gone? There was no gate. And Takeru's like, Hikari's special. She might be able to go without a gate.
Which I assume he's referring to the whole
glitchy thing.
That too, but also like the kind of homeostasis thing.
Her connection to
going through an adventure.
Yeah, the vague entity that is as of yet unnamed.
Yeah.
Everyone is like, no one can agree on what to do. Daisuke thinks like we got to go to the digital world. Iori keeps trying to interrupt him, and Daisuke keeps like pushing him aside, be like, no, we gotta go. Iori finally snaps and is like, "Would you fucking listen to me for a second? If we go without knowing where she is, we're just gonna be wandering in the digital world with no like pointer as to where to go. That's incredibly stupid. We're not doing that." So Takaru decides he's like, "Oh yeah, she kept mentioning a beach, so I'm gonna go to the beach." So he rushes out of the classroom to go to the beach. Takaru is having like a mini breakdown over like just getting weirdly. It's almost like possessive of like
The possessive feels like the right word here.
yeah. Just like
Yeah.
because he's just like she's all alone. She can't do anything by herself. I have to protect her. It's like, bro, what the fuck is your deal right now? It's so
Like,
weird.
it really feels like the only reference for this episode was that one part, like the Magna Angemon episode where like Taichi or Yamato says you have to take care of Hikari, and that's
Yeah.
it.
It definitely like it feels like this was made like Kanaka had the context of like some of this stuff at the end of Adventure, but nothing from Zero making like writing this episode.
hmm So Daisuke is unable to open a gate. He's trying to use his device to open one, and it just isn't working.
Hmm.
And at this point, we finally come back to Hikari, who is on a beach in an area we will eventually know is called the Dark Ocean or the Quantum Sea, etc., etc. We're not going to explain this now. We'll explain it when it comes up again.
Yeah.
Basically, it's neither the digital world nor the real world. It's a separate thing. So she sees like a cave or it's like a tunnel, and she decides to go in there. And there's a bunch of fucking emaciated and dying Hangyomon in there. And they all have like dark spirals wrapped around their wrists. They're completely blacked out, and they just have like the red eyes from the spiral. And I believe they say what happened was that they were worshiping their god.
They're and then like a new false god or some shit. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and like
It's like at first you'd think maybe they're talking about the Kaiser, but I don't think they are.
yeah,
Okay, so there's like information later that is like meant to explain some things. This bit I'm pretty sure still just doesn't make sense if you like think about any of it.
yeah. So they beg her to remove the dark spirals from their wrists, and she's just like, she's like, I can't do that on my own. I don't know what you're talking about. And then she goes, "No, you have to stop doubting yourself." Which, okay, that's
This
not
wasn't a
has-
concern
yeah.
with her.
that is not and has never been an aspect of her character. So she goes to reach for the dark spiral, and the pink light starts working, and then there's an earthquake. So they all leave the tunnel, and now we actually see that they are Hangyomon. They're just like grayscale.
Very gray.
Yeah. And an Airdramon is like fucking up the beach, and also just vaporizes a bunch of the Hangyomon. Like they are just burned to death, and a bunch of chimp noises start playing when they die as well, which is weird.
Yeah.
Takaru is yelling at water.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing.
I know. I know.
He's screaming out Hikari's name, and then Hikari starts begging for help, and she, in order, begs for Taichi to help her. Sure, that makes sense for her to ask Taichi for help first and foremost. Well, no, really, she probably asked for Tailmon first, but Tailmon is second. And then she asks for Takaru specifically, which feels weird. But
Again, I really get the sense Kanaka's like interpretation of their relationship was really quite different from how things actually were.
yes, her begging for help like this is what allows a gate to open in front of Takaru, and he brings Patamon and Tailmon with him, so they go into the area that's fucking Tailmon says something like feelings have connected the worlds or something.
Some
Sure.
shit like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever.
They are on the beach, and she's so happy to see them, yada yada yada. She left her D terminal in her backpack, so Tailmon is unable to armor digivolve, but Pegasmon goes and starts fighting the Airdramon. And I believe he just like at one point Hikari realizes that the dark spire is in the lighthouse. For some, she just figures that out.
There,
So
there should be no reason why a Darkspire is here, by the way, but
yes.
whatever.
Well, no, the reason a Dark Spire is here is explained later, but you know, yeah, it's stupid. So she figures out it's in the lighthouse for some reason, and Pegasmon blows up the lighthouse, which destroys the spire as well, which allows Tailmon to digivolve normally into Anjuamon. And then she kills the Erdramon, just kills it.
This is also extremely contradicted later on in the show, but whatever.
Yep. Yeah, so Erdramon is vaporized, and then she
Can I quickly bring up by Valet that like the entire episode, like I think the theme was supposed to be about how Hikari, like, you know, shouldn't doubt herself and can do things on her own, like, and that she should believe in the things she can do. The entire conflict of this episode is resolved by Takaru, Patamon, and Tailmon with no input from Hikari whatsoever.
Yep. She does nothing.
Just, wow, complete thematic failure. Good job, gang.
Anjuamon is also the one who releases the Hangyamon from the spirals. It is not Hikari, even though she was clearly about to do that earlier. There is no payoff for that. Anjuamon just does it. And if the episode ended here, I would be like, in a vacuum, this episode is pretty okay.
It's not great, but like, you know, at least it looked kind of cool.
Yeah, it had cool theming, a really neat atmosphere. They were going for something here. Unfortunately, the episode does not end here. The Hangyamon all morph into...
They turn into, like, long, goopy men.
Yeah, which... They're just weird creatures. They're not Digimon. They are just weird creatures. And then they say their goal in bringing Hikari to the Dark Ocean was because they wanted to, and I quote, breed with her.
This is not even like, we're not extrapolating this. Like, I know sometimes, you know, we go pretty far out of our way to be like, oh, this is like kind of morally fucked, or this is like misogynistic, and it's like, you know, we have to extrapolate a bit from the text to like get to that point.
They're literally like, no, we will bring you
This
to
is
our
just
god.
said.
They're literally,
This is
we will
just
bring
said.
you to our god to make offspringers
Yep.
and shit.
They literally said they grabbed this fucking 11-year-old girl to breed with her. That is just in the text of the fucking show.
It's fucking vile. It's disgusting. It is fucking awful in every way, shape, or form. And it also doesn't fucking matter because none of this shit ever comes up again.
Fucking god, it doesn't.
So the Dark Ocean, but it returns in a very different way. It is basically anytime it's used, anytime it's used from this point onward, it's used as a plot device. It's even meant to use, like, explain a couple of things with Ken, and that's kind of it. But it's this kind of fucks over Hikari because the assumption I assume within the show is just her massive thing is going to be the Dark Ocean, but they don't revisit the thing with the Dark Ocean much at all, which just leaves her character like basically entirely static for the rest of the fucking show.
Yep.
Also, I really have to assume that the Dago, like, because Kanaka is like a really big fan of like Cthulhian legends and shit like that, like myth and shit.
Yeah, that's
which is like
that's what I was gonna bring up. Like, there is like so much fucking Cthulhu references in this episode. Like, there's actually like a flash of digicode in the episode card, which is like a quote from the story. Even the fucking shit about breeding is from the Cthulhu story. I think there's literally a part where she walks past a sign that if you translate it, it says Innsmouth.
Yes, which is, I believe, the location of the original Cthulhu story, correct?
Yes, it is, yeah. It's just like, I don't get what you're going for being this explicit with referencing the Cthulhu story.
It doesn't really serve any point. It's just, I like the Cthulhu thing. I'm going to put the Cthulhu thing in Digimon. And again, because Kanaka just doesn't work on this show past this point, like, he goes and works on Tamers instead. He, like, none of this shit matters. None of this shit leads to anything. It leaves, and because this is, like, sort of meant to be the backbone on Hikari's character in the show, it, again, leaves her entirely static. Dagomon just never comes back. It just doesn't have, like, even when the Dark Ocean comes back, Dagomon doesn't. So, it fails as setup for anything. I don't like the way this follows anything in the show. I don't really like this, like, the way I can only describe this is the bad version of 21 from Adventure.
Yeah, pretty much. Just an episode that's done by a guest director that's very different and with vibe and its themings, and that episode was amazing. This episode is disgusting.
Yeah, like even just outside, like that really kind of completes it. But even just I personally don't even like. You have to think of this in like a vacuum for me to
Yeah.
even think any of this shit kind of works. And even then, I still don't, because I think the entire handling of Hikari in this episode is really misogynistic.
Yeah, I basically like the only reason the only thing I like about this episode is the visuals.
Yeah.
There's
This
there's
is-
a lot of like really cool visuals, and that's where the praise for this episode stops.
I actively think this might be one of my least favorite episodes in like all of Digimon. Like
Oh,
now
for
that
sure.
I'm really sitting here and thinking about it, this fucking sucks ass.
It's really, really fucking bad. Which is unfortunate because I got to talk about it more now. All
Oh.
right,
God.
Shin Dub Zone episode 13, His Master's Voice. All right. At the beginning, when TK approaches Kari, she says "stay away" instead of asking for Taichi. There's a fucking bad jokes throughout the whole episode. Of course, what do you fucking expect? It's the dub. At one point, Akari says my math scores have been a bit foggy when like the classroom starts fogging over. That's not a phrase. People don't say that.
How's a math score foggy?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Your teacher hands out your paper and like the red marker is like all smudged and you can't tell what grade you got.
Yeah, sorry, mom. I can't show you this grade. It's all foggy. Fuck, I don't know what's happening. As I'm like hiding the fucking F I just got or something.
Oh yeah, it's weird. It's like you need glasses to see it, but it just doesn't show up. Anyway, like I said, the general like vibe and like the visuals of the episode were cool. Completely ruined in the dub because Hikari never shuts the fuck up during it. She's constantly talking, so there's none of those like really creepy quiet shots. She
I didn't
says,
see this.
"What was that?"
Isn't what during the parts where she's walking down the hallways and there's also just a constant like PA of like the principal just constantly making more bad jokes.
Yes, pretty much. Constantly the PA is going off and the principal saying bad things like, "Ooh, whoever put the jelly donuts in the swimming pool," like, yeah, shit sucks.
What?
She mentioned she saw one of them and then calls them Digimon in reference to like the weird shadow that was stalking her in the hallway, despite them explicitly not being Digimon.
Fucking Kari referring to Digimon is just sort of like, yeah, I saw one of them fucking.
Jesus Christ.
That's like one weird. That's like okay. Just sorry. One last weird thing about the episode where they imply the Hangyomon aren't even Digimon.
Yeah. Which is strange.
Yes.
Yeah.
So TK being a weird piece of shit over like her over reliance on Taichi. Instead, in the dub, it turned into him inadvertently admitting he cares too much about her and getting embarrassed over the fact that he said that and leaving. Which is better?
It's
I guess
somehow less out of character, I guess.
Yeah. When Kari is calling out for help while she's at the Dark Ocean, she calls for Tai, Gatomon, and then the National Guard instead of DK.
You know what? Might also make more sense, actually.
Can I get a lifeboat, please?
The very disgusting and vile plot point has been removed in the dub, which actually makes the dub version of this episode better than the sub version, because instead they're just trying to make her their queen.
Yeah, I mean, you're not implying meeting with a fucking. I'm sorry. I know we're in the dub form, but like, come on, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's
why would you put that in?
Konaka really needed his fucking Cthulhu reference, I guess.
Really needed it.
What the fuck?
My next note is just TK, shut the fuck up. It could be worse. Fuck you. So I think at some point he says it could be worse.
How? I guess you're not dead.
Yeah,
actively being kidnapped by them, but like Jesus Christ, it's pretty bad around here.
So correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm also like I found out about this like how explicit deep the Cthulhu
Yeah.
references were on the wiki page.
Mhm.
Are the Hangyoumon instead asking her to stop Dagomon?
That's a great question, Momo. I don't fucking know. Because they're really
Just
not explicit about what the fuck the Hangyoumon are talking about.
like this episode's already a mess, and then you get the fucking dub writers not bothering to check anything.
Yeah, ugh, God, so stupid. So when they're like that weird shot of them like rising out of the dark ocean, there's like the field of flowers. We didn't mention that at the end because we just wanted to get out of there. But yeah, that's the thing that happens. In the dub, Kari's like, it's okay. I care a lot about you too," which is what made me realize this episode. It's this episode's fault that people ship these two characters as heavily as they do. Exclusively this fucking episode.
I definitely think, like, the fact that those two are
It
like
is the angels, yeah.
turning adventure, the
Yeah.
angels thing, a lot of the early stuff with Daisuke and how he thinks those two are, and
Views Takaru's arrival and all
Yeah.
that.
yeah. I do not disagree necessarily that there's a lot on this episode that that
The
helps
show,
that, but
the rest of the show is definitely leaning into it.
yeah, it kind of stops by the second half. I think like
Yeah.
it just kind of doesn't happen at that point anymore. But yeah,
'Cause,
no,
like-
there was some of it in the first half. I think.
Because like, anytime that stuff comes up, I always think to myself like, I don't remember that shit being like in the show at all. I guess I just forgot. And then I saw
would
this episode and I
also
was like,
assume-
oh yeah,
I would also assume that in those instances, the dub might actually even lean into it a little more than
almost
Sub did.
certainly yes. Yeah, this episode sure as
Yeah.
fuck did. Jesus Christ. Anyway, the next time on Digimon narration at the end, this is probably the only time I'm ever going to bring this up because it's incredibly funny in retrospect. It's who is this dark undersea master? Don't miss the upcoming Digimon, boy.
Oh,
Well, we'll see him
Never
again.
again.
We'll see him again in fucking I don't know, Ghost Game.
Yeah. Oh my god. I think that is the next time
that
Digimon
was
shows up.
22 years later.
Hey guys,
Remember
going?
me?
Oh, I think I overslept. Where are we?
God. Okay, getting the fuck out of here. Episode 14, Shurimon of the Wind. My very first note, praying Mimi episode will save my mood.
I was about to say that was my first thought. It's like, yo, Mimi Miyako episode, let's go.
Thank God.
And just like us, the show just wants to forget that ever happened.
Yup.
Yeah.
It's not mentioned. It's never fucking brought up again. It may as well not be in the fucking show. I'm not gonna lie.
I do genuinely have to I do genuinely wonder if that episode got some complaints from parents. I feel like it had to have.
That stuff at the end must. I mean, again, the Dark Ocean does come back in this
Yeah,
show. Even.
yes.
But like anything involving Dagomon is just wiped from the show.
Yeah. Now I have to imagine it's a combination of like maybe some parents complained about it, but also like that was very clearly like Kanaka was the only one invested in that thing, and no one else on that staff felt like fucking bring that up again.
Mhm.
And Kanaka again, he just disappears. Like we see him in Tamers. He's not in the show anymore after his.
Anyway, Mimi is having a party, or she was at a party rather. She was at a
Yeah.
party having a good time. Leaves for the night. Which there's no real reason we're showing this. It's just Mimi was at a party and she's having fun.
Just having fun.
Koshiro notices that a gate has opened in the US. And then he looks at the clock and he's like, shit, it's still like 6 a.m. over there. I can't exactly call Mimi about this. I'll send her an email instead. And then
do we hear why the gate opened in
Nope.
this episode?
it just opened.
Just opened, I guess. Okay, sure.
So he's the rest of the Digidestin are currently in the digital world.
Because Palamon's there.
They're searching for a Digimental, but they haven't found any traces of one, I believe is what they say. But they decide to
Yeah.
stick around to just keep looking in case. So they're just, walking around. They get a little hungry and they're out of like actual food that Miyako brought for them. And then they stumble upon a restaurant. And wouldn't you know it, it's Shadow to Cheese.
Shout out to G, shout out to G, shout out to G, shout out to G, shout out to G.
It's our good friend Digitamamon.
Yeah. His restaurant's back.
Yeah.
Every time Digitamamon is a name I could only think of being spoken to by a dub character. I was like, oh, it's Digitamamon going to tell us about the Digivice.
Yeah. So yeah, they all eat.
Speed through our lines.
Hey,
They all eat at the restaurant, and when Miyako goes to pay, he's like, "All right, that'll be $87." And she's just like,
And like,
"I'm sorry."
I got how much is that in yen?
Like, what do you mean?
$87.
87 US dollars.
I don't take yen. You're trying to fucking steal from me.
He's like, "Oh,
Oh,
you were
look, I
planning
have
on
the
dining and
money."
dashing."
I have the money. It's like that. It's not dollars. That shit's just papers and coins to me.
Yeah.
This doesn't matter. Give me my fucking money.
To be fair, his restaurant was apparently set up pretty close to the gate in the US, because fucking while they're having this argument, right. Also, Takano starts getting deja vu when Miyako is having the argument with Digitamamon, because he wasn't there for those events, but he certainly heard about them.
He's like, wait, I heard
Wait
this
a minute.
before.
This sounds so familiar.
And then he's ah.
Ah, it's this motherfucker. So yeah, all of a sudden the door opens and Mimi is here. Yay! And also some white guy.
Literally just some white dude.
Some white guy named Michael. My note is Mimi is here in all caps, and my next note, Michael. And that's just it.
Michael.
Michael.
Holy me.
Anyway, Miyako is instantly in love because an unfortunate aspect of her character is that she likes cute boys. She's just like this.
Who doesn't?
I don't know.
Don't answer that.
Just let her have fun.
Yeah, it's weird because yeah. Just anytime a cute boy gets involved, she's suddenly really interested in.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No, sure.
Who among us?
Who among us doesn't love a good cute boy? So they all start discussing, because Michael's like, "Oh yeah, by the way, I'm a Digidestined too. I have one of the OG Digivices," and they're all just
They're
like,
like,
"Whoa,
"Oh,
holy shit! I
wow."
didn't realize there were
It's like, there are
Digidestined."
more out there.
Yeah, and so they all,
There was a Digimon adventure happening in every country in the world.
yeah, they all start talking about like how their first interaction with the Digimon, which is likely how they became Digidestined. Apparently, Michael saw a Gorimon attack New York City in 1999. Which
Oh,
is,
thank God it wasn't 2001.
yeah. Well, just very funny that Gorimon New York City because it's a monkey in New York. It's King Kong.
That's absolutely just a King Kong reference.
Yeah,
King
it
Kong
is.
reference.
I just like I just like turning things about New York City into things about 9/11. I think it's funny.
It's we know Mimi saw 9/11 happen, so it's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
And we know who did 9/11.
Shut up. So
His name starts with S and rhymes with Greymon.
Anyway, Iori was on the plane that the
That hit the
Kawagamon-
towers?
No! God damn it!
The Kawagamon
Fuck's sake!
fucked up.
Yeah, the Garudamon safely helped make the water landing. Iori was on that plane. Daisuke was one of the kids that was kidnapped and in Tokyo Big Sight. And Miyako's like,
Miyako saw the Diaboromon incident.
yeah, Miyako
Which
specifically.
we did actually see
yeah.
a frame of in that movie.
It's very cute.
Yeah, she's in our war game, sending me emails. She's an itty bitty baby.
Yeah, trying to reach up to the desk and type.
And I think if Koshiro was there, he would kill her.
Coach was just like, you, and grabs her.
You
Motherfucker.
nearly got us.
No, hey, if they didn't have all those emails, they would have never stopped him.
No,
True.
No, that's absolutely fair. But imagine all of the stress that Koshiro felt when the computer slowed to a stop. Because
Because
he would have been dead.
We nearly had a nuke dropped on us because of you.
So, so yeah, she starts talking to Mimi starts talking to Digitamamon, and he talks about how he turned over because this is when Takaru was like, "Oh yeah, this is the motherfucker that screwed over Joe and Yamato." And he gets all embarrassed about it, and he was like, I was a bad guy back then, but I've turned over a new leaf ever since the Dark Masters were killed." And then
And
they're just like, I think it's Miyako's like, "Who are the Dark Masters?" And Takaru was like, don't worry about it.
it's like, wow, you didn't tell them shit,
Didn't
huh?
tell these kids
It's,
shit.
it's on a need to know basis.
I really don't think this is. I think this is like, oh, you might want to like prime them for some of the shit you went through.
It's so funny.
I don't fucking know.
Didn't tell these kids shit.
I'll
So-
wait till you hear about fucking ultimates.
But what?
Don't
What
worry
now?
about it.
So Miyako, like, while Digitamamon is explaining, yeah, I've turned over a new leaf. Miyako's just like, man, no, you haven't. You were just yelling at us about the fucking like.
That's
You were
That's called operating a business, Miyako.
Yeah, Miyako is like very distrustful and kind of shitty toward Digitamamon throughout the entire episode.
He is up charging the fuck out of them though.
Not necessarily.
Not
like,
necessarily. Dinner for like
10
a meal
people.
for like 10 people for 87. That's pretty good. This isn't $10 a fucking person.
yeah, like even in like 2000, like that's not bad. For, like his restaurant seems like fairly well established. It's probably like a family restaurant, like probably like a better version of Applebee's. Because it's privately
higher
owned.
end
So.
Applebee's probably like that's like effectively like what $9 like for a meal a person. That's
Yeah,
pretty good. I wouldn't call that an upcharge at all. Actually,
yeah. Nowadays, one person's like fucking $20. It sucks.
Tama
Yeah.
bees.
Tama Beast. is that what
Tama
you-
Beast.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, fucking like Mimi is just explaining, just like, no, it's great that you've turned over a new leaf. I'm very proud of you, Digitamamon. And Miyako is getting a little jealous over like Michael and Mimi being friends because it's a cute boy, so Miyako's instantly in love with him. And then
We haven't talked about Michael's best friend, Betamon.
yes, yeah, he has a Betamon. That's his partner.
Yeah, he's partner Betamon.
Yeah,
Not
It's different
Madoki
from-
Betamon.
true.
Who's not Madoki Betamon. You can't tell the difference, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
of
of
course.
course.
Everyone can tell the difference. It's very easy.
Yeah, everyone knows the difference between Betamon and Madoki Betamon.
Mhm. Yep.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
have to be some kind of dipshit if you didn't know the difference between those two.
Yeah, come on.
I wonder what percentage of the audience actually like Red Seekers and knows what the fuck we're talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, if you played the card game, you've probably seen Madoki Betamon.
True.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like
Madoki Betamon.
yeah, it's Betamon. Cute little guy. Anyway, Gorimon shows up outside the restaurant and is causing problems. He's got a dark spiral on him, so that sucks. And Michael's like, or sorry, fucking Gorimon attempts to shoot them with his power attack. Is that the name of his move? Power
Yes,
attack.
the move is called Power Attack.
Where he shoots a beam out of his arm cannon, and Digitamamon jumps in the way to like block the shot, and he gets fucking sent flying. Like he crashes through the roof of his restaurant and just keeps going. He's gone.
Yeah.
So Michael steps up and he's like, "Me and Betamon got this. He's over the water. This is our home turf." So Betamon jumps into the water and he digivolves into Seedramon. Which is, as we all know, nobody's favorite Digimon.
Come on! Come on! Say it once! One person prove me wrong! Come on!
It's very funny.
I'm thinking, why do I bother say anything anymore? Fuck this.
I just looked at my notes. I saw, oh, look, it's no one's favorite Digimon.
Why? You wonder why I'm so fucking mean to you.
Anyway, they start fighting in the water, and there's like this. So like at a point, like Seadramon wraps around Goremon and drags him underwater, and Goremon like reaches out and is gripping Seadramon's fucking neck.
Yeah, he's like choking him.
It's just like for this shot is like so intense for some fucking reason. And he starts charging up the power attack. And so Seadramon lets go and counters it with the Ice Blast, which goes through the power attack and into his cannon.
Yep.
And then like it cuts to all of them outside, and Michael's like, "Oh, I said we would handle this, but
It's like, I don't know. It's like, I don't know. I think you're doing fine.
Because they just see like the explosion happen underwater, and Michael's like, "Whoa, that might not be good." So yeah,
Go get in there, Palmon.
mm-hmm. So Palmon digivolves to Togemon, and at that point, Goremon is thrown from the water, and Togemon fucking machine gun punches the shit out of him.
Chico chico bang bang.
Chicka chicka bang bang.
It rules. So yeah, and that machine gun punch breaks the Dark Spiral, and then Mimi's like, "Now listen here, I know you're not actually a bad guy, but don't go trusting the Digimon Kaiser, okay?"
Oh,
just like,
he's like, "Whoa."
Okay.
Like they made Goremon so cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's all dopey and shit. It's fun.
And then while they're all celebrating the victory, they're just like, "Oh fuck, Digitamamon, that's right!" And they turn around and he is.
Oh right, because Digitamamon takes a hit for them.
Yeah, he goes flying into the fucking woods. So yeah, they turn around and he comes out of the forest and like he like opens up and you see his eyes are red, which means he's fucked
like,
up and
"Oh,
evil
no.
now.
Like, I'm gonna beat you all now."
Mm-hmm. But so Mimi starts approaching and Miyako's like, no, wait, something's not right here. And this is when Digitamamon's like, just kidding, I'm fucking evil now. I'm so messed up.
I was never good.
I was always bad. And Mimi's just like, dude, cut the bullshit. Like, we both know you're a good person. Stop pretending. And everyone's just like, Mimi, what are you doing? Stop trying to
Yeah.
talk some sense into him.
Like, no, I won't.
That true to her character. Mimi hates fighting, and it's just like, no, we're gonna talk this out. He's a good person. I know he's a good person. And then he hits her.
He like fucking rugby tackles her.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, she goes down, and at this point, Miyako fucking snaps.
It's
And
like, how fucking dare you? Unlike her, I don't like you.
Yeah,
And I'm gonna say how it is.
And
God.
this expression of actual hatred
I'm
awakens
being more honest with myself.
Yeah, like, I feel the need to point out that Miyako's entire rant is just like, yeah, I judge people based on their appearances. I fall for hot guys immediately. I don't like you because I think you look weird. And this incredible display of shallowness.
At the end of the episode, it comes out like she's like, I'm gonna be better about that, but I think it's more just like about admitting her faults, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess, but it's also like, I'm
It is
incredibly
very funny,
shallow.
though. It's
I'm
very
incredibly
funny, though.
shallow. Okay, here's a Digimental just for you. Pat you on the head. It's like, man,
It's so funny.
he's like,
She
he's
was
like,
so sincere about her hatred.
I guess, like,
Well, it's not sincerity, it's purity.
it's purity, it's pure hatred. There you go.
I hate you.
It's like becoming a Super Saiyan. As long as your heart's pure in any way, it works.
And it's like, I don't know how to put. I feel like both of these like second Digimental awakenings or whatever the fuck you want to call them have been very confused in how they deliver the aspect they're meant to deliver.
It's so funny. I am incredibly shallow and judge people based on their appearances. Oh, hey, look, a Digimental.
Yay!
Well, I'm willing to forgive all of it because, god damn, Shurimon is so cool. He's so cool. We get Shurimon, by the way.
Yeah.
He's Shurimon.
Yeah, Shurimon.
Sure, man.
He's so fucking cool. He makes springing noises anytime he extends his limbs.
Boing.
Boing, boing.
So yeah, he immediately begins so like Digitamamon tries to do Nightmare Syndrome and like attack Miyako, and I think it's Digmon and Flamemon like grab it so it can't hit her.
Shurimon goes like, if you two would please, and they catch it.
And so then Shurimon's like, all right, time to start fucking this thing up. And he throws like the big shuriken, which I think Kusanagi is the name of it. Yeah, Kusanagi.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
like
Kusanagi.
he jumps into the air and he like sees
The
a
glint.
glint inside the egg.
So he's like, well, target spotted.
And throws the giant shuriken right into his fucking face.
And then he sees the glint, and he throws, and then he reaches into, I guess, the infinite universe that takes place within any Digitamamon or something, and finds the dark spiral floating in there.
And just breaks it.
This episode's awesome.
This episode's so cool. So he manages to break it, and then, after he hits him in the face with the original Kusanagi, he starts running away, and Pegasmon and Infernimon are just like, oh no, you fucking don't, and string him up by the leg using fucking Binding Sanctuary.
Sanctuary Bind.
And then Shurimon does I think he uses Autumn Wind the second time around to break it. He throws his shuriken inside the thing and snaps it, and then he barfs up the fucking broken pieces of the spring or the spiral. And then he's back to normal, and Mimi was like, "See, I knew you were a good guy. You were always a good guy. You're such a swell little dude." And then like while she's talking about, like, Miyako's like, I'm gonna try to be better about judging people for their appearances, because like I get it's not cool. Mimi's like, yeah, that's really nice of you to do. You should do that. Like, not everyone's bad based on appearance. And then she turns around and Chumon and Sukamon are there.
Random Sukamon event.
And she's like, not you, though.
Not you.
And she punches them so hard they fly across a lake.
This is a weird episode.
And then Miyako's like, God, Mimi, you're so cool.
It's true. So fucking true. And yeah, the episode ends with it being, good old nighttime, and Mimi and Michael going back to America.
Michael.
They named this kid Michael.
I think we see Michael like maybe once more, and that's it.
Okay, so Shin Dub Zone episode 14, The Samurai of Sincerity, which is a kind of sick name, actually.
Yeah, no, that kind of rips. I'm not gonna lie.
I believe his title in Japanese is The Wind of Purity.
Wind of Purity, yeah. So name changes. Betamon has stayed the same. They pronounce it Betamon in English, but whatever, same thing.
So is it Betamon or Midoki Betamon?
Well, it is specifically Betamon. Actually, you can tell by the coloration. Fun fact.
Yeah, because Midoki Betamon's more of like a lime green.
Exactly.
Which everyone obviously knows already.
Of course, everyone knows that. No one would be stupid enough to not know the difference between those two things.
I mean, come on now.
Yeah.
Certainly no one by the name of AG.
Gorimon was changed to Gorillamon, because I guess they wanted to be a little more explicit about it.
Guys, seems
the children are stupid.
The children are fucking idiots, I guess.
Gorillamon's move, Power Attack, was changed to Energy Cannon, which is still really weirdly generic, but is probably more descriptive of what he does.
Yeah.
But there's no power in that attack.
It's all energy, baby.
Cement.
That's concrete.
Shurimon was kept the same, which surprised me, but yeah. And both of its moves, Autumn Wind and Kusanagi, were changed to double stars. Except Autumn Wind, which is changed again in the next episode, but we'll get to that when we get to that.
Okay.
But he only throws the one star, the one big one.
Yeah, and double stars.
Double stars.
It's like one, but it's double.
No further questions, Your Honor.
So, okay. I'm bringing up this note specifically because it took me a fucking hour to find what this was. When Mimi is at the party at the beginning, there's this weird knockoff version of the song Semi-Charmed Life by Third Eye Blind, which I'm sure none of you are going to recognize that name.
No.
But it's the song, it's the doot 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 doot. There's like,
oh,
do you know how long it took me to find that name with doot 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 as my It took so long to find what this fucking song was called.
Listen. Not that I'm for anything AI, but they should really make like a bot that you could like sing like
They
a little
do!
bit of a
It didn't
melody.
work! They have
Do,
that.
do,
Do
do,
do
do,
do 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 do.
do.
It's like a knockoff version of that song specifically, and I was like, "What the fuck?" There's a bad joke about typos.
Sure.
Yeah. Oh, right. When it's during the beginning part where Koshiro, or sorry, Izzy is emailing them. And like the email Yoli sends is something like, "We're gonna keep cooking," and then like Izzy's like, "Oh man, make me something," and then another email arrives, and it's sorry, looking typo. Because
Oh.
yeah. Anyway,
Okay.
in the dub, they
Let
know
her
they're
cook.
let her go. In the dub, they know there's a digi-egg there, and they're actively tracking it. So again, Derek Stephen Prince voices Digitamamon, still doing the
That's
same
a tease.
voice, and yeah, still doing the same voice and the same impression that he was doing in the first season.
I don't. What was it? Fucking Christopher Walken.
No, that's way later. Digitamamon is specifically doing an impression of Peter Lorre. He's an actor. It's specifically the way he portrayed, I think, a character in Casablanca. I think it was.
I think I get what. Yeah, I know what that is. Yeah.
Yeah, I described it as Igor-esque. Or no, kind of like Ren from Ren and Stimpy. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah. So apparently Ren from Ren and Stimpy is also doing a Peter Lorre impression. That's what I found out last time we went through this. He says, "I don't want any deadbeat or human deadbeats in here. No wonder the French detest tourists."
That's pretty funny.
I was just like, what the fuck?
I was expecting something. I was expecting an insult to the French, but that went in another direction.
He then also says, "Now are you going to work off your bill or do I have to call a cop?" Just like, man, what the fuck?
Yo, they got Copmon.
Armadimon would hate this. So Michael's voice is very inconsistent. Because when he first shows up, he's like, "I'll take care of it." Like, weirdly, like, heroic? But then he talks totally normally throughout the rest of the episode, except one specific part later. So in the dub, they say that Michael became a Digidestined at the same time as the original children, which is not true. That's literally impossible. Because technically they all became Digidestined during the Odaiba incident.
Yeah.
There's a King Kong joke in there somewhere.
Of course, there was.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough. Right. So Michael says, why would he be doing this when he could be playing polo or practicing the violin? And I'm just like, huh? Why did he, like, he said that, like, was he supposed to be, like, sophisticated this whole time? He just sounded like a
Probably.
dude. It's fucking weird.
Just a fucking
Because
guy.
because I don't know, because he's blonde and foreign and his name is Michael or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe they thought it was his party that Mimi was at because it was in, like, a big fancy house. But I don't know. So Nightmare Syndrome has been changed to Nightmare Syndromer. I don't know why. Okay. So Miyako snapping, or I guess Yoli in this case, snapping in the dub is very weird. It starts off being a random rant and then slowly goes into the yeah, I judge people based off appearances, but I'm gonna start being better about it. And like that's what triggers the Digi-Egg. It's really weird. I wouldn't say it works better in the dub, but it like the thing that triggers the Digi-Egg appearing makes more sense in the dub because it's rather than her just being like, "Yeah, I fucking hate you, die." It's her being like, "I recognize this is a problem with me, and I'm going to be better about it." So, okay. Bad news, everyone. the sproing
What?
sound effect has been replaced.
No!
I knew it. I
Oh.
knew they took it out. I knew it.
They hate fun. Instead, it is more like a mechanical extension sound effect, like a vroom kind of thing. They hate fun. They hate to see the whimsy of the sproing. At, at the end when they're talking about something, Digitalmon says like, "I'm gonna be I'm gonna really be a better person from now on," and Yoli's just like, "Yeah, that's great." Like she says it so fucking dismissively.
None of these people actually like each other.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
and at the end, Yoli is just like she rather than like accepting the fact that she's like shallow and it's something she needs to work on, she actively goes, "I'm going to stop judging people based on their appearances. I learned my lesson." Like
That's great.
that's great,
Good for
Yoli.
you.
And then at the end, Michael asks Yoli on a date
Cool.
Sure, whatever.
for no
Okay.
reason.
Yeah.
Kind of weird.
I feel like at so many points during these dub chains, we're just kind of like, yeah, sure, man.
Like
So,
whatever.
Yeah.
it's hard for me to care as much because like there's so much like sometimes they get you with something extra stupid, but a lot of times it's like haha movie reference or
Yeah.
haha the butts.
Yeah, that
Oh.
I've taken to like really only writing down things that actually got a laugh out of me or were so bizarre of a change. I was just like, what? Huh?
Yeah.
But we can move into episode 15, Shurimon's Martial Arts. Another very fun episode.
Oh, I fucking love this one.
And look at that. The first episode, the first image for it is actually on the slideshow right now. Get bathed, idiot.
Get clean, stupid.
And Chibimon has been very good in these episodes.
Yeah.
I love Digimon.
So yeah, Daisuke is bathing Chibimon and it's tickling him, so they start laughing
And he
and
can't
Chibi.
stop laughing.
Yeah.
He's like, stop laughing, they'll hear us.
The Chibimon starts tickling Daisuke back, and he starts laughing, and June is just like, what the fuck is wrong with him? Why is he laughing to himself in the bathtub?
She's like actually concerned. Is my
Yeah.
favorite bit.
She's like,
She's
oh
like,
man.
I hope he's fine. Jesus.
We cut to Miyako watching TV. Is she watching the ninja movie at first, or is she watching something else?
She's watching,
the news
like-
on
Yeah,
Ken-
she's
on
watching.
Ken.
Yeah, she's like watching like a news update about Ken's disappearance
Right, and then her dad switches it to the
Yeah,
samurai
to-
movie.
movie,
And-
and she's like, "Why, fuck? Why'd you do that, Dad? Go to bed."
Yeah, just let you go to bed. Also, Poromon is like
And it's like enamored.
enraptured. Yeah,
He starts blushing. He's like, "Oh."
they're so cool.
And then one of Miyako's brothers
Yeah.
almost steps on Toromon.
and it's like, would you pick up your fucking toys? So, yeah, she winds up going to bed. And now in the digital world, Gekkomon is currently freaking the fuck out because a dark spire has been built within the Shogun Gekkomon territory. That's Tonosama Gekkomon territory.
She's like, yeah, because it's just like, sir, look. What the hell is that?
Yeah, what the fuck? When did they build that?
Are they allowed? Can they do that?
Can I do that?
They can't do this. So yeah, so they're all gathering up in the computer lab, and this made me really upset because they're in the computer lab, and they're all wearing casual clothes, and
Yeah, they've all changed their outfits.
oh my god, Hikari has a good outfit on right now,
Yeah, that outfit's cute.
which immediately I was like, no, don't go. Don't go to the digital world. Just stay here for a bit. And
That's
then I
like,
go to
that's also probably my favorite Miyako outfit. Doesn't it? I think it's
Yeah.
the one she wears in Hurricane Touchdown.
I think so. It's like the beret one, right?
Yeah, with the beret. I really
Mhm.
like. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good outfit. I was so upset. This is the part that made me really angry. Where I was like, no, you put them in such cute outfits. Why would you make them change into the bad ones?
Meanwhile, Takeru is out. He's just changed the colors.
Yeah, he's still wearing that fucking hat.
He's I just like to think he's going through like fashion phases of like I like to think every time Takuro switches to a new style, he actually thinks he's like the most fashionable guy in the room.
God.
Especially around
He's
like
so
try and
often
last
not.
especially around like try and last evolution.
Oh my god. Yeah, those were the outfits where he was like, "Man, I look so fucking cool in this trilby."
I once again, I really would like to think fucking at some point Yamato just kind of sat him down.
It's like I need you to fucking burn the suit jackets, my guy.
He's like, "What? But it's so fat." No, we're not. It's so embarrassing. It's so embarrassing.
Put on a fucking hoodie.
Look,
Put on a
look,
beanie.
Dude, it's bad enough I see you run your laptop in a Starbucks. I can't have you looking like that too.
You're like a parody of yourself, man.
I thought you were gonna be a respectable adult.
God damn it. Anyway.
We're gonna be so much meaner about this when we actually do Last Evolution Kizuna, by the way.
Yeah, we're gonna have a special like segment for shitting on Takeru's outfits. They arrive in an area of the digital world that is clearly modeled after like Edo period Japan. So, you know. They make a bunch of references I don't get to like various like Japanese culture stuff that just completely flew over my head. And then the Mushmons and the Floramons start coming out of the woodwork to attack them, and they have weirdly like fluid animation on them like springing out of their hiding spaces. It was really bizarre.
This episode is like very like I don't say like super well animated, but it's very like there's like an energy to it.
Yeah, it's batting above average for this show.
Digimon.
Yeah.
Like there's some like nice cuts.
Yeah. So we get like the full out like fucking brawl that starts of all of them just beating the shit out of various Mushmons and
Armadimon
Floramons.
like starts smashing dudes.
Dagyaa.
First time we see was it Boom Boom Punch?
Boom Boom
Vmon?
Punch. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's pretty. Yeah, I remember seeing that, thinking, oh, that's what the art on the Warp Vmon from the Structure deck is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
is him firing up his Boom Boom Punch.
Vmon being like, I'm gonna spin my arms like this, and if you get hit, it's your own fault.
You never played
He would.
Rongolina? He does. That's one of his moves in there.
I only played 2. It was a long time ago.
But yeah, so there's like a bunch of new moves. Fucking Patamon just wing slapping the Floramon over and over again. That funny frame that's on screen right now of the boom bubble.
Boom bubble.
And then Tailmon being like, "Oh yeah, I have this new move by the way. It's called Cat's Eye. It hypnotizes you and makes you freeze in place." Which
and then the Floramon just kind of gives up after the fact
because it like, causes the Floramon
something on its head.
Yeah, it gets hit with its own allergy shower attack.
Oh,
so it like gets sleepy and goes to bed. A ninja shows up.
Yeah,
fucking Ikamon shows up
from Fortnite.
Yeah.
Jesus.
But what is it?
Y'all want some Takis?
Gaming is intense.
But Takis are seriously intense.
God. So yeah, Ikamon shows up and he like throws the shuriken down at Hawkmon, and
Hawkmon dodges it and he's like in a pose and he's like,
yeah,
I know what I need to do.
And Miyako's just like, calling yourself the #1 shuriken user. Ha. Well, sorry, but you're number 2.
She's like leaning against the wall while she says this.
It's so good. They're being such
then fucking
shithead,
and then Hawkmon starts getting like incredibly proud of himself.
Mm-hmm. They're being so fucking smug about it. It's so funny.
I love these two.
And he's
I
like,
fucking adore these two.
Who's #1? He's like, well, I don't mean to brag,
but I do.
But it's me. And then he digivolves into Shurimon, and they start having a cool fight. Eventually, I think it's Miyako gets like assaulted by a bunch of the like random Digimon while Shurimon is having his cool ninja fight. And she runs back to the group and is like, "We gotta go, gotta go!" And they all start running with her. And it's like, quick into this manhole and fucking.
Was it Daisuke?
Daisuke, yeah. Daisuke's like,
but that doesn't make any sense. There's no manholes in the Edo period. Just get in the fucking hole.
yeah.
It's not the Edo period.
And yeah, you're always like, well, it's the digital world. It's not actually the Edo period. And Miyako's like, would you shut the fuck up? Get in the fucking hole. So the Gekomon like find them and bring them to Tonosana Gekomon, who is just like making a bunch of groaning noises while thinking about what to do, and then he's like, I'm just gonna go to bed. We're not gonna do anything about it, actually.
Yeah, I'm gonna go eat.
And then while everyone else goes to, strategize and do other things, Igamon, the sneaky bastard himself, sneaks into the room and puts the dark spiral on Tonosama Gekomon. The shogunate has fallen.
They are eating slop.
I can't help but think of the quote tweet Vince made about like it was like the news of like Japan like upping the legal age of consent or something.
Yeah.
And then Vince fucking quote tweeting that with Bushido has fallen.
God fucking Christ. Oh, good lord. Tonosama Gekomon proceeds to go on a rampage. He's just basically smashing a bunch of buildings. The usual.
Yeah.
Igamon has sent a challenge shuriken to Hawkmon and Miyako to fight one-on-one. Proper ninja duel.
And they of course honor this agreement.
Yeah, Miyako basically goes off and has her own little adventure during this episode.
Yeah.
They fly in on their like Igamon's waiting on the top of one of the rooftops, and Miyako and Shurimon fly in on a fucking kite. Just because it's a ninja thing, so they just do it.
Yeah.
So while the rest of the kids are taking care of the actual problem, they realize they can lure him into destroying the spire by having him use the Kabushi tone and just blow it up. So they do exactly that, and he destroys the spire. At which point, Shurimon and Igamon are still having their ninja duel, and Shurimon is like,
and Miyako's like, but you're free. Why are you still fighting?
Ninja honor.
ninja honor.
It's about the Bushido code.
Yeah. And so, I think Igamon grabs Shurimon and is like, I'm gonna fucking, drop you to the ground, like, pile drive you. And, Shurimon goes a bungee jump and then sticks his extendo legs into the ceiling. And, manages to save himself, and then, I think he just tosses Igamon aside.
And then he does the big fucking, and then he does a Kusanagi again, and Igamon tries to block it, but it snaps his fucking sword and cuts his mask.
It's very cool. So yeah, once they finally finish their goddamn ninja duel, that is unrelated to literally everything else happening in the episode.
Yeah, but that's the important part. Who cares about those dark towers?
Yeah, no one gives a shit about that. Ninja fights. So they're thinking about what to do about the dark spiral that's on Tonosama Gekomon, and Daisuke's like, what if we just cut off the top knot? And everyone is immediately just like, not cool, Daisuke. Don't say that again.
Don't say that again.
And so, they decide to just break it the normal way, which is hitting it with all their attacks at once. Yay! Yay! Fun episode. Very fun. At one point, Wormmon says to Ken, those lods got you again.
Yeah.
Damn, dude. I'm surprised he didn't hit you for that one. Which means we can move into SHIN Dub Zone, episode 15, Big Trouble in Little Edo. Get it? The movie reference.
Yeah. Movie references.
Yep. Name changes.
Am I thinking too hard about them equating Japan and China?
I thought we need this episode to end, so let's not.
Don't worry, there's another thing in this episode that I'm just like, it's probably not, but it feels racist. Anyway, name changes. Mushmon was changed to Mushroomon.
That's all right.
Yeah, it's fine. Like an unnecessary change, but whatever. So its move Poison Smash, I actually like better in English. It's called Fungus Cruncher.
Yo,
that's got
the fungus.
Yeah, the name's got like a
Your average mushroom fan.
Boom Boom Punch is unnamed, sadly.
No.
If I
Cat-
remember, if I remember right, in like a bunch of like the Digimon games, it's just called V Punch.
Mm-hmm. Cat's Eye was changed to Cat's Eye Hypnotism.
Why?
'Cause I don't
Oh.
know.
Oh, that reminds me. Sorry to bring up Rumble Arena again. It's so funny because like you need that as like a quick battle quote. She has to say "Cat's eye hypnotism" as fast as humanly possible.
Cat's Eye Hypnotism.
Yes, she is saying it that quick.
That's awesome. Egamon was changed to Ninjamon, which is not. I thought that was something they had gone back on, but no, he is still called Ninjamon in English.
I guess there's nothing to contradict it.
Yet.
Yet.
And then his move, Iga style Shuriken throw, was unnamed.
No.
Okay.
Also, so I believe Kabushi Tone wasn't ever called anything in the original version of the dub, but they call it Musical Fist in this. So I think they finally gave Kabushi Tone a name. At the very beginning, when Davis is bathing with Demi Vemon, he calls Demi Vemon Vemon. Yoli's brother says, "Pick up your toys." I almost fell on my butt.
He should be able to say ass. I almost fell on my ass.
Me, Yole, what the fuck?
I
Yoli!
swear to God.
Later in the episode, Hawkmon's like, "What's fuck mean?"
When Yoli's talking about wanting to go to the digital world, for whatever reason, Cody says Yoli's brother needs us. Because, like,
Huh?
I think she mentioned her brother in the fucking email she sent out, and that was Cody's response, and I was like, huh? What? Whatever.
Okay.
At one point, Shogun Gekomon says Gadzooks, which I thought was just wonderful.
That's probably just. I feel like people did say that once upon a time.
Oh, sure. So when they get to the digital world and they see where they are, they say it's like the samurai era, which probably isn't racist, but it feels racist.
It feels a little racist for sure.
I guess. It just
that-
sounds very uninformed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that just seems like a.
Like you know,
Didn't
like you
feel
like
like
you
looking it up.
like fucking you know like there's fucking eras in like you know like England or fucking wherever. You know,
Yeah.
you'd say like medieval times to
Mhm.
all of it.
Yeah, they could have just gone medieval because it's like because I understand like if you say it, you know, it's the Edo period in English. These kids are gonna be like, "What the like?"
Yeah, they're not gonna know what the Edo
like
period
what the
is.
fuck is an Edo?
People barely understand what the fucking Heisei era meant.
Yo, what's it? Yo, what? Yo, Mo, what about the Neo Heisei era?
Emperor Neo Heisei.
Anyway, moving on from the things that nobody else knows what you're fucking talking about. Hawkmon says, I think he says Hawk beat, or sorry, she. Sorry. Oh my God. So sorry, Hawkmon.
Yeah, don't fucking misgender Hawkmon. What the fuck?
So fucking sorry. I think she says Hawk Beam when she's fighting the Floramon.
Silence. Fuck you.
It sounds like that's what it was. And then Armadillomon says Diamond Shell. And I'm just like, what the fuck are these new move names? They're just- They're just renaming moves. At this point, I noticed that Ninjamon's VA is Agumon's VA, but doing a little bit of a more nasally voice.
Agumon.
Okay. And this is the line from this episode during the dub that took me the fuck out. Vemon says, and I quote.
Oh.
I knew you were gonna say that. I knew you were
No,
gonna say, and I quote.
trust me. Like I like this could be like you could imagine I'm exaggerating if I don't say that. Vemon says, "We're not dealing with muscle-headed Digimon here. I think these guys would rather toss a salad." Which, for those uninformed, tossing salad is a euphemism for eating ass. You can't say that, Vemon.
Oh, I could
I
go
have
for
a
some
question.
salad right
I
now.
have a question.
Shut up, Bridget.
Why is it a euphemism for eating ass?
I literally don't know. I looked up the phrase to make sure I was just like, that's what that means, right? And no one else fucking knows what it means either. Like, nobody says that anymore. Nobody says that shit anymore. But, like, apparently it was, like, 90s slang? So they had to have known.
That's probably why they said it.
It's
'cause they
just
thought it'd
like
be funny to sneak that into a kid
Okay,
show.
hold
like-
on.
oh, boy.
I found the. Okay. It's also an old slang term. Many think started in prison, which means I'm not gonna read the rest of it, but
Okay. Well,
Is it like a
Oh.
dropping the soap kind of term, or
hold on. Sometimes salad dressing or syrup or jelly were used to mask the taste, giving rise to the term tossed by salad.
we're
are
moving
they
on.
talking about? Are they talking about like
Putting the yes on
on
yes.
the so you don't
Yes.
taste the ass while you're eating it?
Yes.
I'm cutting all of this.
No, you're not.
Yes,
Don't be
I
a
am.
coward. Don't be
Fine.
a fucking
Can't.
coward.
Anyway, the last note for the episode, Autumn Wind has been changed to Ninja Wind.
Coward.
It's no longer double stars, Ninja Wind.
You're a
It's
coward.
it's ninja season.
If you cut it out, I'm leaving. We're all gonna leave comments on your on the video
Shut the fuck up.
explaining the meaning of toss by salad.
Anyway, great episode, everybody. Angel is not here, so he can't do his ending segment again.
This was a very mixed batch of episodes.
Yeah, it had one of the funniest episodes in the entire season, and the worst episode in the entire season, so you know.
Yeah.
So far.
I'm also like, the one-offs were really fun. I still think both of the Digimentals this week were the messaging was maybe a bit confused on both of
Mm-hmm.
in a weird way. And also, man, we really got no fucking time with the Digimon Kaiser at all, which feels kind of off because next batch is his last one.
Yep. Which,
I feel like
speaking
we should have
of,
probably sneaked a little more time with him in this in these 5 episodes. I don't know.
probably. So, speaking of, the next session is actually going to be covering 6 episodes. We're going to be covering 16 through 21, because that will be the actual end of the Digimon Kaiser arc. It would feel really weird to stop at 20 and then have the first episode be the finishing of that arc. So,
The only thing is, now that we're doing 6 episodes in one, it's not gonna be perfect all the way up until the end.
it's
We'll
fine.
just do 4.
Yeah, we'll
just
do
do
4.
4 one episode
Yeah.
session.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then the session after that is actually going to be Hurricane Touchdown, because that movie canonically takes place between episodes 21 and 22. So,
There will be if you're not familiar with 02, there will be a big flashing siren of something telling you should have watched this movie.
yeah. So yeah, next session in in 2 weeks it'll be 16 through 21, and then because it's just the movie, maybe we'll just do it the week after. We'll see how everyone's schedule was worked out. But yeah, after that will be Hurricane Touchdown, and then it'll be the rest of the show as normal until the end, which we will do Armageddon on and wrap up, same as we did for Adventure 01. And then we get to move into the really fun stuff.
You say that, but you're lying.
I am lying.
You're lying.
You also
Yeah.
censored us, but forget about that.
What was that?
You said you were going to censor us, so you shouldn't censor us.
True. Goodbye, everyone.
Don't censor us.
I like eating ass.
Okay, I'm recording again.
Dagyaa!
Thank you, Momo. Thank you for watching the DigiVerse DiveCast. It's been a hell of a couple weeks, for me in particular, for a whole variety of reasons that I'm not going to go into. So, you know, getting to do this again and seeing the response over the continued positive response, rather, has been a boon, to say the least, so I appreciate it more than I can really properly express. So, you know, thank you, and continue watching and sharing with your friends and all the typical like, comment, subscribe, you know the deal. I say it every week, but I feel the need to repeat it regardless. I'm hoping to get back to a couple of like the more divecast focused streams like Digimon World 3. We want to do 4 eventually, among a couple of other things that might be a fun little thing. We had considered doing little recordings of like one-off sessions of a bunch of other games. So, you know, hopefully those will be coming before the end of O2 and before we get into the true death march of the post O2 stuff before Tamers. But until then, thank you and see you next time.